Here we go on the approach. The Friends of Coal Bowl is underway. High kickoff, far side, and through the end zone for a touchback. And Marshall will put in play 1st and 10 at its own 20-yard line. And emotions are really running high. Penalty flag already. Small said something, bumped into an official. Penalty flag already out on the field. Dennis Hennigan and his crew working today's game. Big East officiating crew. Hennigan's the referee, Paul King the umpire. The linesman is Tom Considine.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 15 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Charles Pugh. And boy, that's got Richie Rodriguez steamed already. Pugh, a sophomore defensive back. He's out of Orlando, Florida. So the Marshall Thundering Herd. Excellent starting position here at its own 35-yard line.
Well, it gives Marshall instant field position, and that's what they're looking for to start the game.
Bernard Morris talking to Coach Snyder earlier in the week. Last year when we ran it, we were victorious. When he ran it, that's what ensured victory. See what they do today. First carry, Bradshaw slipped, taken down, loss of about 2. Take a look at the backs and receivers for the Thundering Herd of Marshall. Bradshaw, we spoke a lot about him. Marcus Fitzgerald, Larry Fitzgerald, younger brother, said to have the same ball skills. Emmanuel Spann, their top receiver, great hands as well. Matt Morris and Brian Shope, the tight end, with just 1 catch. On that forward wall, Wesley Jones back in action after a car accident, and David Ziegler. They are the 2 core guys on that offensive line, and along with Doug Legursky, the center. Second down and long for Marshall. On the give, here's Bradshaw. Breaks a tackle, picks up maybe a yard or 2, but that's it. Good speed on the outside by the Mountaineers, and another penalty flag on the play. Jay Henry, playing in that middle linebacker spot, comes up with the stop. Personal foul is going to go against Marshall.
Well, Dave, you know both head coaches were fighting with their teams before they came out of the locker room and really trying to get in their heads, these young men, to calm down and don't get emotional in the beginning of this game.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 13 on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. It will be 3rd down.
It's Brian Shope, the 6'5" junior tight end out of Portage, Pennsylvania. So now Marshall's in a hole. Started at the 35, now back to the 19-yard line. And here come the Mountaineer fans on their feet on this first 3rd down of the season.
Well, this is where you do not want to risk the football down the field with Bernard Morris trying to squeeze something into a tight window. If it's not there, throw it away and let your punt unit come out and make a play. They
put Bradshaw at the bottom of your screen. They're all everything running back. And now some confusion. Morris burns a timeout. So he didn't like the lineup. As you know, West Virginia runs that very funky 3-3-5 defensive setup.
Well, the bad part about that setup for an offensive team is trying to locate people and recognize who is who. If a linebacker, if it's a strong safety, and the linemen, more importantly, have to distinguish who is who. So a little trouble there with Bernard Morris. Didn't want to take the 5-yard penalty. It was a wise timeout deep in his own end.
Let's take a look at the defense that Mark Snyder's group is going against right now. On that defensive line, some veterans. Keelan Dykes had 5 sacks a year ago. Pat Liebig, he started most of the games late in the year. And Johnny Dingle, he played behind Craig Wilson. Last year he had 3 sacks. In the middle, Boone McClee, a great athlete, first-team All-Big East performer. Jay Henry's never had less than an A in any classroom going back through high school. And Bobby Hathaway, good special teamer last year, getting a chance to start. At the corners, Lewis is a second-team All-Big East performer. Larry Williams, along with Wicks, Malik, and Andrews, a good group, but they are replacing a lot of veterans. They lose 5 of their top 6 secondary guys from a year ago.
Yeah, they lost a lot, especially in that linebacker in the back end. So West Virginia looking to improve with some of the youth movement they have on defense this year.
3rd down and 26 for Marshall. Out of the shotgun with 3 receivers, bottom of your screen. Morris, not a great thrower, going to take it down. 20-25, penalty flag, fights his way to the 30. Still will leave him about 15 yards short of a first down. Now we got another fracas up around the 35-yard line and another penalty. There was a West Virginia player had his helmet knocked off. That was Larry Williams. Larry Williams, the junior from Highland Springs, Virginia. He got involved with one of the wide receivers. It was Matt Morris, the senior out of Beckley, West Virginia. You talked about it, John. It's all about, you want everybody emotionally fired up, but there's, you got to get to a point, but don't bubble over.
Yeah, there's a limit. You have to be able to control your emotion, and games like this, you haven't played for a long time, and games like this, when you have in-state rivalries, it'll get both sides very excited. And if you can harness and control that emotion, use it to your advantage, usually come out on top.
This is the first of a 7-game series, and we'll be talking more about that later on. First time these clubs have met since 1997.
During the play, holding number 74 on the offense. That penalty is declined. After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, personal foul on the offense. Those penalties offset. It will be 4th down.
So that will bring on the punt team. And let's see how the emotions run here on special teams. And Richie Rodriguez, we've done enough Big East games over the years to know he can get fired up. He's not happy. And during the week, I said that with Rich yesterday morning when we got here to Morgantown. Very calm, said everybody's handling the expectations, the prognostications. But the emotions running crazy today.
Not a good kick, Dave, at all.
O'Connor, not a good one, and West Virginia will stay away. They'll have beautiful starting position at the 48-yard line, a punt of only 23 yards by O'Connor, a senior from Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's see what kind of emotion the offensive unit brings out for the Mountaineers. Here come the Mountaineers, and don't forget, they play at a fast break pace all the time. They come in, no huddle. Pat White, there's Steve Slayton. 1st and 10 from the Mountaineer 48. White going to keep it himself, far side, 50, 45, got a nice block, picks up 8. So Pat White, the sophomore from Daphne, Alabama. There's his numbers, communications major. And Rich Rodriguez and the coaching staff said that the kids are following his lead. He is a quiet but firm leader, and they really like him.
Well, he's a Walter Camp watch list candidate, Pat White. He only started 5 football games last year, but he came in that triple overtime game against Louisville, did a terrific job from that point on.
Out of the eye, the up back is Owen Schmidt. 4-man front for the Marshall Thundering Herd. Here's Slayton, first down across the 40 to the 38. First down, West Virginia. First down of 2006. As we introduce you to the backs and receivers, Slayton, we've told you about him. Schmidt, the walk-on, had been at Maryland. They gave him earned a scholarship here at West Virginia. Bolden, Miles, and Renaud, all great speed and size. Veteran offensive line, and that's led by Dan Moses, the center, first team All-Big East, and Jeremy Sheffy, second team All-Big East a year ago. From the 37, 1st and 10 for the Mountaineers. High snap, here's White on the edge. Slayton, outside the numbers, turn the corner, fights his way inside the 35, another first down for West Virginia. Inside the 25 to the 21-yard line, a gain of 16.
And Josh Johnson. First down, West Virginia.
So for the Thundering Herd, their task, get it done here. McClellan, Tinker, Underwood, and Greer, their best performer, hadn't played it down in 3 seasons, but they really like what he brings. The linebackers, Johnson, they can't say enough about him. And on the corners, Frazee, Keys, Rodemer, and Spillman. First down from the 21. Slayton got the edge. First down again. Just outside the 10-yard line. Steve Slayton. Good blocking outside, gain of 11. And right now, just that West Virginia offensive line pulverizing Marshall already.
Well, that was one of the keys, Dave. Be physical and let Steve Slayton get to the outside and use his speed. He's a below a 4-4, closer to a 4-3, but the stutter step and then getting to the outside, you got Schmidt to lead him the way, but he'll get the corner 9 times out of 10 just with his speed.
Ball right at the 10-yard line. White, long count. Owen Schmidt straight up the gut. Ooh, he took a good pop in there. He took a big lick from Albert McClellan, 6'2", 233. He's number 96 for the Thundering Herd. He's out of Lakeland, Florida. Just underway, the first Friends of Coal Bowl. We're in Morgantown, West Virginia, Ivan Puskar Stadium, on the campus of West Virginia University.
And this pace really goes to West Virginia and what they want to do offensively, Dave.
Second down and goal from the 8. Flood the bottom of the screen with 3 receivers. Give it to Slayton, sweep left, nothing there. Good play, McClellan beat the block. Slayton had nowhere to go, and there's an injured Mountaineer, one of the old linemen.
Damian Chrissy, it looked like, Dave, the guy that's trying to make that block on the edge.
Damian Chrissy is a senior from Bedford High School, Man's Choice, West Virginia, former walk-on, had a great spring.
And it looked like his leg just gave out when he wanted to go and try to block on the edge. Great defensive play by the Marshall front 4, but you'll see Chrissy, 71, he's coming to the outside. You see his left leg right there as he's engaged on the edge on that block with Albert McClellan. Just gave way, his leg gave away right away on the edge.
So they brought in Frank Cardiff, and they shuffled. It's like Stancic moved down. We will take a break with 11:06 to go here in the first quarter. The Friends of Coal Bowl, no score right now. Marshall and West Virginia back with more right after this. We're at the Friends of Coal Bowl here in Morgantown, West Virginia. No score. Marshall and the 5th-ranked Mountaineers. And right now, let's introduce you to the 3rd member of our broadcast team working with us today, Mark Martin. Mark, what do you have?
Well, Dave, it's great to be with you and John here this afternoon for this first ever Friends of Coal Bowl in this new series. Of course, this game in Morgantown, next year in Huntington, and it's back to Morgantown. And then year 4 is what makes this 7-game series so interesting, because the team that wins the best 2 out of 3 will host that 4th game. And of course, this current series will run through 2012, and it's great to have this one launched here this afternoon. Dave and John, great to be with you guys. We'll talk with you throughout the afternoon.
You bet, Mark. Thank you so much. Glad to have you with us. Just 208 miles separating these two schools. Met 5 times in the past. West Virginia's won all of them. Right now, the Mountaineers knocking on the door in their first possession. 3rd down and goal at the 8. White gonna throw it. Man there. Caught. Touchdown, West Virginia. Touchdown Mountaineer, Brendan Miles, the team leader from a season ago, the 6'3" senior from Portsland, Virginia. 6-0 West Virginia.
Great patience shown in the pocket by Patrick Wright, and a nice route by Brandon Miles. Really just used his speed to get to the inside. Nice job by Patrick White, staying in the pocket, standing tall, and delivering for the Mountaineers' first score of the season.
Point after by McAfee. Pat McAfee, 48 of 49 a year ago. So the first score of the 2006 season for the Mountaineers. White to Miles. It's 7-0 Mountaineers. Today's Friends of Coal Bowl is brought to you by Friends of Coal. Visit our website at www.friendsofcoal.org. Here in Morgantown, West Virginia, Brandon Miles, who had 3 TD passes last year, catches last year, gets his first of the season. Mountaineers on the board, 7-0. A drive of 7 plays, 52 yards in 2 minutes and 16 seconds.
Yeah, and set up by a bad kick by the Marshall special teams. West Virginia took advantage of the outside play, 2 runs by Steve Slayton to get them ignited, and a nice run to start the series by Patrick White, the quarterback. Looks like Coach Rodriguez has calmed down now after a little emotional start of this game. So Mountaineers up 7-0, and he feels a lot better right now.
Well, the emotion overflowing here at Morgantown on the first kick, and here's McAfee. This kick, far side, another touchback. Nice job by Pat McAfee. He had 70 kickoffs last season, 20 for touchbacks, 4 went out of the end zone. Sophomore from Plum, Pennsylvania. Boy, Marshall needs to get something going. Imagine we're at such an urgent point in the game, second series, 10:47 to go. I mean, they didn't get much done on that first possession, even after the personal foul gave them the ball at the 35-yard line.
Well, what they need right now, Dave, is a first down. Just get things started, get things calmed back down, get the crowd out of it, try to get a couple positive plays.
Morris gonna throw. Was looking deep, buys some time, throws, and one hops it incomplete at the 38-yard line. Tried to get it to Cody Slate, freshman from Chatham, Virginia. Glad you could join us, everybody, here in Morgantown, West Virginia. It's the battle for state bragging rights, the Friends of Coal Bowl, as the Thundering Herd of Marshall comes north to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers. 7-0 Mountaineers as they score on the first drive. Steve Slayton off to a terrific start. Along with John Kingemi, I'm Dave Sims. Mark Martin with us as well, down on the sideline. Second down and 10 for the Herd. Pretty good run there for 4 yards, and then a big gang tackle, Bradshaw on the carry. Andrews, Boo McClee, among others. There on the stop. Antonio Lewis is there. Bobby Hathaway.
Well, Dave, only a gain of 5, but you can see already the elusiveness of Ahmad Bradshaw. He makes 2 guys in blue jerseys miss at the point of attack, and the strength and the speed on the outside, but this Mountaineer defense right now looks much too physical and too fast up front for Marshall to handle.
So Marshall did last year, 10th in a 12-team league, Conference USA. Get the quarterback out on the edge, tries to turn the corner, 35, takes a lick. He'll be about a yard short. Let's see what kind of mark they get. They had to get it to the 30, and they're going to mark him to the 29.
I like the play call on third down of getting Morris outside the pocket, because the Mountaineers have been able to break the offensive lineman down inside. He tries to stretch that football out and duck at the same time and get that first down, but just a yard short. And again, this Mountaineer defense showing speed to the outside with their linebackers and defensive backs, but strength up front.
Ian O'Connor, a 23-yard punt on his first effort. Antonio Lewis, second team All Big East return specialist. There's a Marshall bounce.
I think he kicked it, Dave.
Okay, it was a kick, and they have the beanbag thrown at the 39-yard line. It's spotted right now at the 14, but it looks like it's going to be brought back upfield to the 39. Take a break. When we come back, it'll be West Virginia ball. The Mountaineers leading 7-0. Well, the Mountaineer offense off to a terrific start here for the 06 season. A 7-0 lead, and Steve Slayton, no surprise, played a big role.
Did a great job getting to the outside edge. Makes 2 Marshall defenders miss, and look at the burst to the outside. He finishes the run not only outside, he's an inside runner north-south. The stutter step move to the left side, again using that speed to get to the edge, and positive yards for this Mountaineer offense.
Not bad. 4.1 yards a pop.
He's off to a great start already.
From the 39, 1st and 10 West Virginia. Slayton in the backfield to the left of Pat White. Slayton gets the call, coming right side. They wall it off nicely. Good gain as he spun down. Fine block out there on the edge by Jake Figner, number 73, the sophomore from Fogelsville, Pennsylvania. He walled everything off and allowed Slayton to turn that corner.
Yeah, these offensive linemen, not only big and strong, but they have quick feet, and they have to be agile. This pace that West Virginia likes to use, they have to be in shape. So good feet along with that size and strength, it's a dangerous combination for oppositions.
Second down at 5. White to throw. A flanker screen. Miles across the 50 to the 48. That's a first down for the Mountaineers. Brandon Miles off to a good start. 2 catches. Hit 34 for the season last year. Team leader with 536 yards.
Yeah, and Patrick White doing a nice job distributing the football to the outside. Brandon Miles last season, you see the 3 touchdowns on 34 receptions. He does a nice job of going up and getting the football for not only Patrick White, but Rich Rodriguez.
West Virginia and Marshall territory again. Marshall has not gotten out of its own territory in its 2 possessions to this point. Slayton with room. Inside the 35 to the 33. Another first down for the Mountaineers. Gain of 14. So Slayton, with the help of that offensive line, just huge chunks of yardage already. C.J. Spillman making the tackle.
Terrific vision by Slating. Watch him slash right through, right there, 2 arm tackles, and then the burst of speed. Terrific block by just creating a stalemate by Brandon Miles. That gets Steve Slayton another 5 or 6 yards down the field. 6 rushes, 53 yards, and look at that average.
Well, you got the shoulder square, and see you later. First down to the 33. White, quarterback draw. He's got room, got some speed. Takes a lick at the 25. Nice gain of 9. So Pat White. Remember last year, Adam Bednarik started the season. He's lost for this entire season after shoulder surgery.
Huge lane right through the middle, Dave. Just does a nice job of running north and south, and Patrick White, you can see why White and Slayton are both on the Walter Camp watch list. Both terrific athletes.
Big question is, can White be a good thrower, good passer to take West Virginia all the way to the top? People are talking about them in the national championship. Owen Schmidt, looks like he's close to first down yardage. Yeah, they get it to the 23. There's a look at Shavar Greer, senior from Beckley. Comes up with a stop, but that is a first down for the Mountaineers. Let's look at Shavar. Started the first 7 games a year ago. Had 22 tackles, 4 sacks. This after not playing for about 3 seasons. Mark Snyder says his team has to play with a chip on its shoulder because he knows West Virginia will definitely do so. First and 10 at the 23. Slate outside, cuts it inside. Nicely done. Down to about the 15-yard line. Picks up 8. The thing that's interesting when you watch that play develop, John, there were bodies on the ground by the time he got to the line of scrimmage.
Well, actually, Steve Slayton had to go backwards to get the edge. Watch him dip and then go backwards to get to the edge. He knows he has enough speed to get to the edge. And then the spin move to the outside. Not only speed, but toughness. Watch him dip to the outside here. Just a great block at the point of attack to get him to the outside, and then it's all natural ability.
High snap, inside run. Slayton angling, turn the corner. He's in. Touchdown, West Virginia. 13-0 Mountaineers. 14-yard run. Slayton already to 77 yards rushing. McAfee for the point after. Penalty flag. Methodical drive. The offensive line getting a chance to just tee off.
Prior to the snap, false start. Number 90 on the offense. Replay the try from the 8-yard line.
So Steve Slayton off to a fabulous start. 1,128 yards last year. 5.5 yards per carry. 17 touchdowns. He's out of suburban Philadelphia, the northeast part of town. Went to Conwell Egan High School. Rich Rodriguez and company couldn't be happier to have him in Mountaineer blue and gold. No flags on that one. They shoot the gun off here in Morgantown, and it's 14-0 Mountaineers.
Dave, I'm sure Steve Slayton would be the first one to say, credit that offensive line. Look at the wall that's built up right there. Owen Schmidt, terrific job at the point of attack and downfield as well. Looked like Bolton was outside taking care of the cornerback in white, but Slayton and Schmidt in that backfield. Schmidt's knocking him down, and Steve Slayton's running right by him.
Very efficient drive, and let's check in with Mark Martin down on the sideline.
Go back to that 1997 game, and certainly something that helped Marshall get back into it was great wide receiver play. Of course, they did have a guy by the name of Randy Moss. Maybe not any players of that caliber here today on Marshall's side of the field catching the football, but they did have some solid guys returning this season. One was Hiram Moore. He was the second leading pass receiver a year ago, but he was arrested last weekend, and Mark Snyder suspended him for this game. They're also playing here today without Sean Lazon. He is out for the season with a dislocated hip, so some wide receivers definitely have to step up here today to get the talented Bernard Morris and company going with the passing game for Marshall, guys.
Good stuff, Mark. And Morris is going to have to start cutting it loose here. Down 2 scores already with 6:14 to go, first quarter. Here's McAfee. This one has a chance to be returned. From the 10, Chubb Small. 22-yard line.
Chubb Small on return.
How about West Virginia? The average starting position for the Mountaineers are 43.5 yards. Meanwhile, Marshall has not gotten beyond, I don't believe they've gotten beyond their own 30-yard line.
Well, we talked about the keys early for Marshall. They would love to score first and limit the turnovers and get good field position, and none of that has happened right now for head coach Mark Snyder. They're going to have to find something to do offensively and hang their hat on it. Maybe move the pocket earlier in the first and second down, not wait until third down when the Mountaineer defense is coming from the corners.
Third possession for Marshall. Hurd has started at its 20, it's 20, and now the 24. Play fake, Morris. And a nice comeback catch. Well done, and there by Emmanuel Spann, coming off a ligament tear a year ago. He's a sophomore out of Atlanta.
Nice positive throw by Bernard Morris. Moving the pocket on first down, little play fake to the back Small, and then he does a good job of staying right before the defender, standing up tall and delivering the play, getting it close downfield to Spann. Good catch on the outside.
First time the Thundering Herds advanced beyond its 30-yard line. They need a confidence-building scoring drive desperately right here. Bradshaw, make that. Chubb Small to the 50, into West Virginia territory for the first time to the 42-yard line. Chubb Small broke one, the sophomore from Auburndale, Florida. Number 3 rusher a year ago, picks up 26.
And a good read by Chubb Small, the sophomore. He let everybody get washed down to the short side of the field. Good vision and nice speed to the outside. Just a terrific cutback to the outside. And I love the way he finishes the run, initiating the contact. Good presence. But watch, everybody gets walled down, and then Small comes out the back end. Terrific job of using his vision, going left first, and then breaking it back to the right side.
First down for the Herd. Bradshaw back in. Morris picks up a block, got time to throw, delivers downfield, man there, and it's incomplete. Off the hands, and that would have been a big 6 right there. Matt Morris had a shot at it, the 6'3" senior. Good operation in there to free Morris to be able to throw that ball.
And you couldn't have asked for a better ball by Bernard Morris. He put it right where it needed to be. Matt Morris has to make this catch. It just goes over the outstretched arms of Larry Williams. It's not deflected. Got to make that catch. He goes up to get the football. It just goes through his hands.
The thing over the years, John, we've had the pleasure of watching Larry Fitzgerald. He may be the best hands catcher I've ever seen on any level.
And you know what else he did? Not only catching it with his hands, but going up vertically, not going away from the football. That was the key to Larry Fitzgerald.
Larry Fitzgerald, the All-American at Pitt. There's his little brother, Marcus. Let's see if he gets a shot here today. Bradshaw, ooh, bounce back. Magro and Liebig, nothing doing there. Oh, that was a big-time lick.
That's called being rejected at the point of attack. Wow, what a hit in the middle of that Mountaineer defense.
That, friends, was a football play. Yikes.
Well, that's what happens, Dave, when you're struggling a little bit offensively to have some consistency. You need to make a big play when the opportunity arises. You don't make the catch, and then you lose yards on second down.
Offset eye.
Got to watch the play clock here, too.
Morris against the blitz, hangs, throws, and incomplete. Tried to get it to Shaw on the far side. That'll bring on the punt team one more time. Well, that was the best drive. You had the big run by Chubb Small for 26.
Yeah, they had a couple big play opportunities. The big run by Chubb Small, and they don't get Matt Morris to secure the football in the end zone, so it's still 14-0 with West Virginia really in control of this football game.
Third punt, O'Connor trying to get it down inside the 10. Gets a nice roll, and indeed rolls inside the 10. Well done. Hang time of 3.5. Nice little wedge shot, 35 yards on the punt. How about the way West Virginia finished last season? Big East champions. They go to the Sugar Bowl. They were underdogs against Georgia. And what a performance. They go up 28-0 in the first half.
That was a terrific performance by the MVP of that Sugar Bowl, Steve Slayton. 204 yards. And you talk about team speed, Slayton, there was no one on that Bulldog defense that could catch Steve Slayton.
DJ Shockley rallied the Bulldogs and made it close late in the contest. But this was the big one right here. The punt opened up, they saw it. They had seen Georgia retreat, and the punter took advantage of it. As we get back to live action, a nice run by Slayton off the left side.
This is the point early in the game. It's still 3 minutes and 6 seconds left in this first quarter. As we look at the Sugar Bowl numbers, just terrific numbers. 204 yards, almost 8 yards per carry, and 3 touchdowns. But this is the point in the game, Dave, that West Virginia could really break the back of Marshall. If they go 90 yards here and stick it in the end zone, it'd be tough for Marshall to get back in this football game.
Here's White airing it out, sideline, and he's got a bigger arm than I thought he does. That ball landed inside the 35-yard line. Incomplete. Trying to get back to Miles again. That fake punt, of course, is Phil Brady from last year in the Sugar Bowl.
That was a terrific call. You mentioned about the arm strength of Patrick White. He does have terrific arm strength, and as they go along during this game and during this season, they're going to have to rely more on that left arm of Patrick White. And I think he was frustrated that Miles maybe broke down on the route. He didn't continue to run. He kind of took it for granted the ball wasn't coming his way.
The numbers for West Virginia. Third down conversion. They did an outstanding job. Get it outside. Owen Schmidt, freight train running. Look out. Across the 25. That's a first down for the Mountaineers. Pick up a 13. Owen Schmidt has become a cult figure here. Schmidt happens. And they're doing their O cheer right now.
First down, West Virginia.
Marshall was in perfect position to make this play. Good pressure on the quarterback. The corner has inside out. James Johnson has to make the tackle, but Schmidt is so strong from the waist down. He breaks the arm tackle, makes another Marshall defender miss, and it turns into a first down. So nice effort by the fullback. And when Schmidt gets in the open field, he doesn't look like a fullback.
Not at all. It's a freight train. Put it.
Yeah.
Talked to Richie Rodriguez a couple of weeks ago. I said, how many face masks has Owen Schmidt broken in preseason? He said, oh, he's got a couple already.
It's like hanging them on the wall.
Yeah. First down, Mountaineers. 27-yard line. Up 14-0. Byron Tinker. Rush it off the field. There's Slayton again. He's got fabulous vision. Picks up about 8. Really nice job inside running. A lot of times when you get a big-time profile back, it's a guy that's always getting to the corner, but he's inside.
He's inside, and he's got huge lanes to run through. Dan Moses, the center, today was his 36th career start. That offensive line, Sheffy, Figner, Danner, and Stanchik doing an awesome job up front, just getting a hat-on-hat and moving the offensive line forward. They're winning the battle at the line of scrimmage.
First team All Big East performer, projected as an All-American for this year. Dan Moses. Slayton gets the call again. This time he's outmanned. Fine job by Marshall as Albert McClellan, number 96. He led the way for that stop.
Marshall this time gets in that offensive backfield. Really no one on Albert McClellan. Gets a free look at Steve Slayton. Trying to go, look like a couple West Virginia offensive linemen get their feet tangled, and they don't get to the outside and get a helmet on number 96 in white.
Blake Merritt there as well. Here's White through the hands of Miles. Any flag? No. Catchable ball. Miles running a deep post. So far, the only guy that Pat White is looking for is Brandon Miles. He found him for a touchdown. 10:52 to go in the first quarter for the first score of the day. 7-0, and then Slayton an 8-yard run with 6:14 to go. That's where we are right now, 14-0.
Well, it looks like Patrick White and Steve Slayton picking up where they left off, Dave, in this offense for the Mountaineers. Doing a good job on the ground and directing the offense is Patrick White.
Kozlowski to punt. Hangs it up there. And Chubb Small drilled immediately at the 28-yard line. Good coverage by the Mountaineers on a 34-yard punt. So Pugh, who was involved with a personal foul on the kickoff, he makes the tackle there for the West Virginia Mountaineers.
First and 10, number 29.
Mountaineers. Big yardage advantage right now, up 2 scores. Morris pitches back to Bradshaw, cutting it back. Can he get there? His own man, he ran into his own man, one of the linemen.
John Inman, it looked like.
Inman, the backup right guard.
And he's talking about it to him in the huddle. He did the right thing. Once he was run into, at least he tried to throw his running back forward. Good job, Brian. Good job, John. He's saying, I'm just trying to grab you and throw you forward, partner.
That's going to do it for the first quarter. The Friends of Coal Bowl. The first in a 7-game series between Marshall and the West Virginia Mountaineers. And the Mountaineers, 5th ranked this week, have a 2-score lead. Miles on an 8-yard pass from White, and Slayton an 8-yard run. And the Big East defending champions have a 14-0 lead. We'll be back with the second quarter right after this. Welcome back, everybody. The Friends of Coal Bowl here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Number 5, West Virginia, 14-0 over Marshall. I'm Dave Sims. John Kinjemi in the middle. The man that runs the state, Governor Joe Manchin. Good to see you. And I like the tie, Governor. Nicely done.
You think I'm politically correct?
Yes, sir.
Covered.
Hey, John, what do you think? Huh?
Very nicely done. Governor, I think you should be applauded for helping to get these 2 schools to sign a deal to play on a regular basis.
Well,
congratulations.
It's going to be a great, and whatever, rivalry, whatever, I can tell you it's been a great West Virginia game. The state of West Virginia wins, and this is what it's all about. I saw coming up on the interstate cars with a West Virginia flag on one side of the car, or Marshall flag on the other. It doesn't get any better than that.
I had breakfast today, and there was a West Virginia dad, Marshall mom, and the baby had a Marshall jersey on, and I said, Mama's boy, huh?
Well, what happens?
Said, yeah.
You know, in our state, you have a lot of kids that went to school, the undergrad at Marshall maybe, and came here for the grad work. So it's really something great.
It's terrific.
And Marshall on offense has to get something going here. Down 2 scores as we start the second quarter. Here's Morris on a quarterback draw. It opens up. Nice running ability there. Slides down, picks up about 14. That's a first down for the Thundering Herd. Gain of 13 officially. And here's what do you remember about the emotions going through the room this day?
Well, let me just say that I think 90% of the people in West Virginia were very happy that day. I had a few, maybe West Virginia University, my alma mater, who might not have been, but I really think they understand it's the best thing for our state. That was a good day. That's an official signing, and that thing's still hanging.
That's terrific. I was talking to Bob Markham, the AD at Marshall the other day, and he said this has got to be the toughest ticket in 25 years in the state. First down from the 45-yard line, and Chubb Small make that Bradshaw. Boy, he got ridden down. That was Charles Pugh. We've seen a lot of him today, number 15, the sophomore from Orlando, Florida.
They told me this was, John, they told me that, Dave, this is the toughest ticket in the history of either school. The toughest ticket to get a hold of.
Yeah.
There was a lot of energy, Governor, before, in the parking lots, and you could see people walking by, haven't seen each other in a while, but it was great. I think it's great for the state, and it's, rivalries like this should happen.
Well, I knew this would be a natural, and both schools, WVU has been doing so great. Rich Rodriguez has taken it to the next level. Under Bob Pruitt and now under Mark Snyder, let me tell you, they've earned their right to be here.
Absolutely.
They truly have.
To get the Friends of Coal, to get the industry behind this game, that speaks a lot for the state as well.
Well, you know what happens? It's the whole state comes together, and we're mining coal, we're burning coal much cleaner, doing it much better than ever before. We intend to do even more in liquefaction. We're working hard on coal liquefaction. We believe that we can help make this nation energy independent, and we need to do that.
Amen. It was about 56% of our electricity comes from coal.
Right, and I told, I never forget Anderson Cooper when we were the horrible Sago mine disaster. And he asked me people about doing these inherently dangerous jobs, and I said, Anderson, this is our way of life. Mm-hmm. We're going to have West Virginia the safest working place in the nation, but you have to understand 51 to 52% of all of the energy comes from coal. And when you flip that light on, you think someone's working hard to provide the energy this country needs. We're proud.
Yeah,
should
every
be.
right to be, yes.
And you got a good-looking trophy, too, that's going to go to the winner.
Was that something? I mean, that was made out of all West Virginia glass with West Virginia coal.
Beautiful.
And the whole thing, and I was so proud to even put on the bottom there, just think of that, the governor's trophy.
That's wonderful.
With the Friends of Coal Bowl. That's going to be passed back and forth. It won't stay permanently. Of course, some of the schools would like to think it's going to be permanently. And we'll talk about that 2 out of 3, how to get the 4th game.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting
that
twist.
That was a good one.
That had to have been a heck of a negotiation, too, right?
I'm going to tell you more about that.
All right. Minute in, second quarter, and Marshall trying to get something going. Second down and 10, just shy of the 45. Here comes a blitz and pick it up. Morris hangs and fires. He's got a man for a first down. Spinning inside the 35 to the 30, inside the 30 to the 29 is Matt Morris. First down for the Thundering Herd. That's a gain of 26 yards.
Dave, nice look off by Bernard Morris. He was looking left, and I believe 2 West Virginia defenders, the linebackers, collide. Watching the middle of your screen, you see Mangro, number 53, looks like he collides in the middle with another linebacker, and then a good catch on the outside by Matt Morris. He dropped one earlier in the end zone, but he secures the football, and a nice job by being patient in the pocket. Good blocking up front, gives him time to deliver the football crisply.
Call for Matt Morris from Bernard. Pitch it to Chubb Small. Whoa, that's a heck of an athletic effort to get his hands on it. Luckily for him, it goes out of bounds. Little too much steam on that pitch from close quarters. But a heck of a job by Chubb. That could have really been a major disaster. He did well to lose just 10.
Yeah, it looked like the relationship between the pitch was a little too tight between running back and quarterback. And Marshall offensively very fortunate to get that football back, at least to get it out of bounds and not cause a turnover by a bad pitch up high and behind the running back. And that's really on the quarterback, Bernard Morris. The relationship between running back and quarterback on that option needs to be precise. That time the pitch and the relationship was not.
Timeout on the field. And Governor, I just want to ask one. We're talking about the negotiation.
Right.
You win 2 of the first 3, you get that.
Well, you know what
game.
we did? First of all, we all came in when they added the 12th game, and I called everybody together. I said, "Come on, we're going to sit down and talk." So I brought both athletic directors to the mansion. Sit down and start feeding them. I just kept feeding them. I kept feeding them and feeding them and feeding them, and they kept working through things. And I'll get right to it.
Second down and long. Let's see with Marshall if they can come up with a big play here. Deepest penetration they've made so far in the Mountaineer territory, down 14-0. Bernard Morris Got a man running free, too high, incomplete. Tried to get it to Marcus Fitzgerald, the junior from Minneapolis, but he was there. Younger brother of the Arizona Cardinals, Larry Fitzgerald, a Pitt guy. We can say that here in West Virginia right now.
We're ready for them too. Let me just say that, so we had him there and we were working through this thing, and I left for lunch. I started out breakfast with him, kept him there all through lunch. I had to go to another meeting. So KO was there and Eddie Paslone. I said, you all keep working on this thing. We're getting close. We got to the end and they said, we got one stumbling block about 3 o'clock. And I said, what is it? Who plays that 4th game? Who gets the home game? And I said, where I come from, 2 out of 3 gets the spoils.
Nicely done, Governor.
You went old school for the final one. That's good.
That's a big 3rd down here. 3rd down and 20 from the Mountaineer 39. Morris has got time.
Too much time.
Keeping it alive and does well to get out. Well, we got rid of it at the last second to the 29-yard line. Won't be much of a gain. There's also a penalty flag on the play.
I think he was past the line of scrimmage, Dave.
Yeah, flipped it to Chubb Small. Past that line of scrimmage. So Dennis Hennigan and company. Illegal forward pass. Being out of bounds would lend to a flag there.
Yeah, you could call a number of things on that play, but it was a good athletic play by Morris. He stood in the pocket.
Illegal forward pass beyond the line of scrimmage. Number 14 on the offense. Penalty is lost it down at the spot of the pass. It will be 4th down.
You know, and Dave, credit West Virginia on the defensive end. That coverage was in for a long time. It looked like Bernard Morris had a lot of time to throw the football, so they had an excellent job on the defensive back and linebackers holding tight coverage and forcing Bernard Morris into that penalty.
Here's a look at the schedule for the Friends of Cole Bowl, to be determined on that 3rd one there in 09.
You don't see that too often, do you, Dave?
No, not at all. The folks downstate, and the Marshall fans in the Huntington area, the southern part of the state, what's the feel?
Well, no, they're elated. And they knew it was being fair because they get the 2nd game. First, the old series were going to be the first 3 were going to be here. So they were very, very happy with that. When it comes back to being on 3rd here, and then that winner takes it all.
Here's Ian O'Connor. See if he can get it inside the 20. And at the 1, that's a good job. At the 3-4 line. And that's where they down it right there. Governor Joe Manchin's going to stick with us for another segment. Take a break, 36 yards on that punt. We'll take a timeout with the Mountaineers holding a 14-0 lead over Marshall here in the first Friends of Cole Bowl. We're at the inaugural Friends of Cole Bowl here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Dave Sims, John Kangemi, and our special guest right now, Governor Joe Manchin of the state of West Virginia. Nice to have you up here. You feel very comfortable.
I feel comfortable, Dave.
I was going to step aside. Let Governor do the rest of the game.
I feel very comfortable with you too.
I'm so glad that you and your people were able to get this game together. I'm sure everybody in the state of West Virginia feels the exact same way. Here's Steve Slayton again. Boy, he's a workhorse.
He runs so well, doesn't he?
Tough to bring down. He got it out the 11-yard line. Here's a late flag coming.
Well, Dave, you know, he's only 5'10", 195 pounds, and he runs like a much bigger back, but he has such great speed to the outside. He's a great combination of speed and power.
15 yards. And after the play was over, personal foul, number 94 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Those are killers. Byron Tinker, who had gone out of the game in the first quarter with an injury, came back and now caught for the infraction. And one of the West Virginia wideouts was limping. Darius Renaud, their outstanding junior wide receiver from Lilling, Louisiana. He's number 2.
Yeah, and Mark Schneider, the head coach for Marshall, very upset on the sidelines because you can't do things in big games like this. You can't give free 15-yard penalties down there for excessive hits when they're not needed.
White on a keeper from the 26. Pretty strong guy. Doesn't look like the strongest guy, but he moves that pile. Nice job there by Pat White.
You know, Pat is not afraid to get hit. And that's when you see a quarterback that'll tuck it and go the way he goes, it's unbelievable. And when you have Steve Slayton, it's almost dynamic duo. It's almost impossible to stop. They're so fast, and Steve's got so much power in his lower body. I think it really makes him something special as the back with the speed he has.
Governor, what did you think of all the people in our line of work in the sports business predicting that West Virginia, if they run, can get to the national championship? Because they've looked at the schedule, they've looked at some things look like they could break for it.
Sure.
There's Slayton getting the call. Across the 35.
Steve Slayton.
And that's good enough for another first down.
Let me say, Dave and John both, that I've watched Rich Rodriguez. I've known Rich and I come from the same part of the state. Rich, I watched grow up. He used to work for me in the carpet store that I had.
How about that?
So we've been great friends. He is so focused, and he thinks he has this team ready. I can tell you, he's got him prepared.
First down for the Mountaineers at the 38. White on a keeper. And he gets it to Owen Schmidt. Keeps his feet. That's going to be another first down for the Mountaineers in Marshall territory to the 47-yard line. Governor, I understand you had a lot of interesting things happen at the Sugar Bowl, but there was one story in particular that
when I was at the Sugar Bowl at 10 o'clock, I received a phone call that we had a problem. We had a mine accident back in West Virginia, and about 11 o'clock they confirmed we had 13 men trapped at the Sago mine, so I jumped on the plane and came back. And it's just an unbelievable turn of what the saga that unveiled there. And
well, one of the good pieces of information you got to tell the fans that some of those folks at the
let me tell you how that night they kept kind of running to me and telling me the score, and but you know, everyone was we're just in agony there because we don't know if they're still safe, if they're alive, if we're able to rescue them. And during that whole saga, about 12 o'clock, I was given the news by my security that West Virginia won the game. The Sugar Bowl beat Georgia. And I didn't. I was agonizing. I said, I don't know if I should share it. And I says, I'm going to keep this to myself. And I didn't share it for a minute or two. And one of the family members heard the score and says, Governor, would you tell the rest of the crowd the score? Wow, and I did. Story. And they erupted for that few minutes of jubilation.
There's a reverse. Renaud got an escort. Also penalty flag. He's at the edge and stripped of the ball and taken out of bounds at the 17-yard line. Looks like a hold is going to bring it back. That's a gain of 26.
You know, and Governor, we also talked about, what a great game it is for both universities and the fans, but the economic boost in the pat on the back that it gives to the state.
Economically, this is a win-win-win, and I understand when the 12th game, when that 12th game was added, it was added for financial reasons, to stabilize every team. You tell me a better financial security that we have in our state than these two playing. Within four counties, you cannot find a room to rent. You can barely get into a restaurant to eat. It has just the economic boom that we needed, and it's just great for both schools. To finish up on that, I called Rich Rodriguez after the game that night, after I explained to the families that West Virginia, and told them that they'd won, and everybody erupted. And I said, Rich, I want you to know, not only did you make West Virginia proud, the whole state, you gave these 13 families who are agonizing right now one moment of relief. And it's just unbelievable. And I think that was the best call he had, and I know it was the best call I made.
So after the penalty, second down and 16 back in Mountaineer territory at the 47. On the delay, give it to Slayton. They bottle him up this time. The initial tackler did not let go, and then there was a lot of help in there. Middle linebacker Matt Couch was there. Elamine was there as well. Bilal Elamine, he's out of Lexington, Kentucky.
That's the second time that the Marshall defensive front has been able to get by the offensive line of the Mountaineers, and they go to a quick snap.
How about that? Quick snap. White airing it out. Miles, adjustment, penalty flag all over the place. The underthrow led to that flag.
That was a planned play.
Boy, that worked out really well for West Virginia. Because Marshall was consulting on the sideline about what the play was going to be.
Pass interference, number 27 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Automatic first down.
Jeremy Frazee with the penalty flag. Mark Snyder can't believe it.
Dave, I think the pace of the game is really wearing down the defense for Marshall. I think West Virginia's been able to stay on the field offensively and really make bad decisions defensively. I mean, that's just a lack of discipline, not turning and finding the football. I think that was a lazy attempt to try to bat the football away. You have to locate the football as a defensive back, and those types of things really upset head coach Mark Snyder and any head coach walking the sidelines.
Marshall has almost as many penalty yards as it has on offense. 77 offensive yards out the middle on a burst is Slayton. Got the first down inside the 30, a gain of 13. Boy, he's relentless, and so is that offensive line. Can't say enough about them.
Yeah, when they get going downhill, Moses is the ringleader up front. He does an excellent job of starting it all at that center position, but then you have speed and strength and vision of a Steve Slayton just slashing down the middle of the field for that Mountaineer offense.
Slayton already breaking the century mark with 113 yards on the ground.
Yeah, Eisendowner, the redshirt freshman, number 79, they do a great job of getting off the football and creating running lanes for that running attack.
First down from the 28. Clock runs, coming up on 9 minutes to go. Owen Schmidt, fake to him, give it to White. A good play on the outside. Good job by Jacobs is there. Jacobs saved some big damage there, let me tell you. It's fast break offense. No huddle by West Virginia. Boy, it can just wear out a D-line. And you watch some of the Marshall D linemen, the interior guys with their hands on their hips, not a good sign. Second down and 10. White's got time. On a skinny post, what do we got? It's like a umpire coming in. I think that was a one-hopper. I don't think that was a catch.
I'll have to watch that one, huh?
I think that was a one-hopper. I'll be see if they allow this to stand. They do.
They do. The side judge keeps running in. Let's take a look, Governor, and see if we got this one on replay. It looks like his hands are underneath it to me.
That's a heck of a job.
I think he scooped it.
That's a good job going down and getting the football.
The umpire is Paul King. When he came running in, he had a really good look at it.
The prior play is under review.
Part of the new rules, coaches can request a replay, and I still think that got a little ground there.
Yeah, that replay or that right there looked like half the ball looked like it might have been floating in the tip of the ball, the back end of it.
Oh, that is really
looks
close.
like the left hand is underneath, but I'm not sure if that ball touches the ground or not. It's pretty tough to tell.
Well, the coach's challenge, when a video replay is being used, one coach's challenge is allowed per team per game. Challenge provides coaches with more influence within the process of the instant replay system. And a challenge, this from the NCAA football rules changes, another safeguard to allow the common goal of correcting a call that has a direct competitive impact on the outcome of the game.
I think he got it.
Yeah, I think they're gonna stick with the call and give him the catch, but the ball was tipped by a Mountaineer offensive player first. That's why the ball was fluttering as it gets down to the receiver. But it looks like his left hand is underneath the football.
John, you like the offensive, the challenges here?
I like the challenges, but I don't like the fact that you have to call a timeout to do it. I think you should be able to go back to the more of like the NFL where you can throw a flag on the field.
After review, the play stands as called on the field. First down.
Well, there's a feather in the cap of the officiating crew. Dennis Hennigan, Paul King, the umpire, linesman Tom Considine, Kevin Cody, the line judge. Here's a look at the rule changes for this year. Indisputable video evidence is the standard, and it works in favor of West Virginia here.
And the bad part, Dave, is if you're out of timeouts, you can't even challenge.
That's right. So the Mountaineers up 14-0. That one challenge does include overtime. First down play, White on the move. Gonna keep it and caught from behind. Ooh, dragged down from behind. That's a fine defensive play. Albert McClellan at 6'2", 230. Maybe a little bit more than that, running him down from the backside.
And that's no small task. Albert McClellan did a great job of tracking down Patrick White. I think Patrick White had no intention of throwing this football. He just held it up to try to bait the defense. And there you see the defensive end doing a great job of harnessing White from behind and bringing him down.
Inside 8 minutes to go here in the second quarter, 14-0 West Virginia. Slayton, boy, does it open up at the 5. He cut it back. He's in. Touchdown, Mountaineers. penalty flag on the play. And Steve Slayton scores, but it's going to be brought back because of a hold. Did not please the coach, to put it mildly.
Holding number 62 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Ryan Stanchik, the sophomore from Cincinnati, called for the infraction. What do you remember about Rich when he worked for you back?
He did anything I told him. We gave him the toughest jobs. If it was taking up carpet, scraping tile, whatever. Never said a word, worked like a dog.
Governor
and
Joe,
he still has that same work ethic,
yes,
too.
He
Steve.
does. And that the ball club reflects that.
Yes, it's a blue-collar ball club, I can tell you that.
West Virginia Governor Joe Manchin with us here in the booth. There's Stanchik. He may try to pancake somebody here now.
Well, if I was him, I wouldn't run to the sideline real quick.
Second down and long. Throw it. Man's there. Touchdown! It's Miles again. And it's 20-0 West Virginia. Good throw by Pat White. It's the only receivers really looked at all day for the most part. Governor, you brought one of these teams some luck here offensively. We appreciate you stopping by. Good luck to you. Continued success.
Governor, thank you.
I'm proud of both teams, I'll tell you. It's a great series, and we're proud of you all being here at ESPN.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much, sir.
Joe.
Governor Joe Manchin, state of West Virginia, joining us here in the booth as the Mountaineers look to tack on one more point here. And it's up and good. So Pat White with his second TD connection to Brandon Miles, and this time it extends the lead to 21-0. Nice throw, good catch, and he holds on with the big leg. Well, Brandon Miles will have something to tell the fellas about back in the dorm tonight. He's got 2 touchdowns in the first half. 21-0. Number 5 West Virginia on top of Marshall. Let's visit with Mark Martin down on the sideline.
Well, guys, last season, Marshall and West Virginia University did something never done before in school history. They retired jersey numbers. First it was Marshall. They retired number 72, worn by the late Frank Gunnar-Gadsky. Then West Virginia retired the number of the great Sam Huff, who wore number 75 in the blue and gold. Now, it's interesting to note both of those gentlemen went into the NFL Hall of Fame, and they both hailed from the small town, a coal mining town not far from here, known as Farmington, West Virginia. They played for the Fighting Farmers, as did the governor of West Virginia, Joe Manchin.
Gotta love it. That's good West Virginia history there, Mark. Thank you. Low liner, going to go out of bounds, and Marshall's going to get the ball at the 35. McAfee a little angry with himself. A little snap hook. Get the next one, but had a coach up 21-0. Richie, now get the next one. Come on.
I think in a tighter football game, it might have been a different welcome to the sidelines.
First down.
How about the drive there? 96 yards. Took 5:17 miles, an 18-yard catch. Took 12 plays, and this will be the best starting position for the Thundering Herd of Marshall.
We have to like how Patrick White is running this West Virginia offense, doing a great job of protecting the football, and that offensive line just really dominating the line of scrimmage.
Bernard Morris got to get going here. He's 2 for 6 with 34 yards passing. Got his tight end this time. That's a first down into West Virginia territory at the 39. Make that Matt Morris. 6 catches a year ago. He's got. Check that. Cody Slate. He's a freshman out of Chatham, Virginia. 26 yards on the game.
Good play by Bernard Morris. He did play action and he reverses and gets the ball up and out early, and that was the key. The defensive back, Antonio Lewis, could not make the play on the ball. He had his back turned, and a good concentration catch by Cody Slate, the tight end.
It's like they're having some trouble getting the play in. A play clock, they just started it. All right, so they're okay.
And that's a big play for this Marshall offense. They get the ball on the West Virginia side of the 50. They get a little bit of confidence, and now they have to create a big play to get it in the end zone. They have to score before halftime.
Morris has 3 receivers. Wide to his left. He rolls that way. Tough throw for a right-hander, and he one-hops it incomplete.
Short hops on the way to Matt Morris.
That time, Matt Morris was the intended receiver. Marshall's had 3 big plays, all of 26 yards today for Mark Snyder.
I like what the offense is doing on those last 2 plays, Dave. They're moving the pocket and trying to give Bernard Morris a couple different looks so he doesn't have to stand in that pocket and take the pressure of this Mountaineer linebackers and defensive front. Maybe it's a little bit easier. He can see a little bit easier down the field by moving the pocket, and then you don't know where the quarterback's going to be, play in and play out.
Well, this is the deepest Marshall has gone into West Virginia territory. 39-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Too hard, too close. That was really zipped in there to Slate, slightly behind him. A lot of you fans will remember how long some of the games were last year, particularly the West Virginia-Georgia game, Florida State, Penn State. To speed the game up, ready to play West is going to start after all changes of possession and start when the ball is kicked. I like that. Keep the game moving a little bit. Although if you're an offensive coach, you're dying because you're taking away, do we have any plays? 10, 15 plays maybe?
Yeah, it takes away close to 10 or 15 plays, so you really have to manage the clock well, or at least you have to pay more attention to it during the week and get your guys believing in the same mantra.
Marshall 0 for 3 on 3rd down, hanging in on the blitz, and a completion. That's a 1st down to the 25-yard line. He goes to Cody Slate again. 1st down Marshall with 6:25 to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Terrific throw by Morris that time. He hangs in the pocket nicely. He's only a junior, 6'4", 220 out of Orlando, but watch him, his poise in the pocket, just standing tall, giving time for his receivers to clear the linebackers. He throws behind Charles Pugh, 15, who was that strong safety up and in front of the linebacking core of West Virginia. Great concentration, and Cody Slate coming up with another big play, and then 2 receptions in a row for him.
Morris 4 for 10, 74 yards. 1st and 10 Marshall at the 25. Bradshaw, haven't heard from him in a while. Fights through the 1st tackle. Nice surge there by Bradshaw to pick up 3. Taken down by the linebacker Bobby Hathaway, the junior from Carmichael's, Pennsylvania, number 55.
Marshall getting a little bit more of that momentum offensively. Good play call, getting to the outside, getting to the edge, and keeping West Virginia guessing. They had Morris play before, step back and drop back, and then they used the edge again with Ahmad Bradshaw. Today, 7 rushes for only 10 yards, so they've done a good job keeping one of the premier players in that Conference USA by not making an impact.
Chubb Small, the deep back, fake it to him. Nice throw, broken up. Lewis broke it up and was there. Cody Slate. Lewis got there just in the nick of time because Slate had run a nice pattern, and it was a good delivery by Morris.
Good break on the football by Antonio Lewis, the junior out of Waldorf, Maryland. You see, 190 pounds, only 5'10", but terrific speed on the edge for the Mountaineer defense. Timed that perfectly, sticking that left hand in there and knocking it down.
Talking to Mark Snyder earlier in the week, said that he wants to see more growth out of Morris. Come a long way. We've streamlined some things for him. Put too much on his plate last year. Big spot here. 3rd down. Hanging in. End zone. Leaping, jumping, catching. Touchdown Marshall. Touchdown to Matt Morris. And now they wipe it off. The side judge came in and wiped it off. After the initial call, let's see, the back judge, side judge Howard Curry came over and said no.
Let's take another look. Terrific effort. That's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. He had possession when he came down. I don't think there's any question.
Back judge
Morris has complete control of that football, Dave. That's a touchdown.
The back judge, Gary Dansowitz, was all over it. To our left, to the left of the play, the side judge, Howard Curry.
As Morris is rolling over to secure the football.
Challenger rolling on the prior play.
As Morris is rolling over to secure the football with the opposite hand, it looked like he knocked the ball out, but he had control of that football against his body.
Nice job by Bernard Morris to hang in there.
He goes up at the highest point. That's what you wanted to do on the one he dropped earlier in the football game. But as he comes down, looks like he has it pinned to his body right there with complete control.
You're right.
He's going to get it out, and actually his knee hit it out before the Mountaineer defender was able to knock the football away. I think that's clearly a touchdown.
That's a 6. Be surprised if it's...
Yeah, he goes up and gets the football, and I think he secures it against his body, and I think that's a Marshall touchdown.
Yep. 5:09 to go. And yes, that could be a very, very large score here for the Marshall Thundering Herd.
Let's go up and take another look at it. Matt Morris going up and getting the football. Looks like he secures the football as he comes down. It looks like a Mountaineer defender may have a face mask call as well.
Yes, sir.
Andrews, number 8. But I think it's him that knocks the football out as he's going to secure it, but it was already pinned to his body when he was in the end zone on his back.
After review, there is indisputable video evidence that the receiver had possession of the ball in the end zone. The play is ruled a touchdown. Marshall will not be charged a timeout.
And that's the right call, Dave,
Yes,
in my opinion. And Marshall fans and Coach Snyder very excited about getting back in this football game before halftime.
Boy, did they need that. Needed it desperately. Morris to Morris, Bernard to Matt, and Marshall's on the board. And the Mountaineer fans are getting another look. But the look they're looking, and I'm not surprised that they would show that. Here's the point after by Anthony Binswanger. And it's up and good. So the Marshall Thundering Herd finding some momentum. Matt Morris catching that touchdown pass from Bernard Maris. They took a long look at it in the replay. There's Matt reacting to it. And the Herd has its first touchdown of 06. Today's game being brought to you by the Friends of Coal, the inaugural Friends of Coal Bowl. I'd like to thank some Friends of Coal that I met yesterday at the Pines Country Club. Ronald Curry from Logan, West Virginia, Mike Gase from Altman, Pennsylvania, Elvin Caldwell from Armagh, Pennsylvania, and a few other guys from Logan, Mike Vestas, Scott Mills, Butch Smith from Beckley, Ruby Phillips from Man, West Virginia, Wayne Thomas from Beckley, and Randy Hansford from Beckley. Thank you for their hospitality yesterday out in the golf course. You and I, well, whatever. We had a good time.
Oh, you played well, you told me.
I did
That's
all right.
good.
Did all right. Especially not seeing the course before, but it was a good time. Good
I'm not missing that next time.
That's right. Coach Don Nealon shot a 37 on the front yesterday. Nice job on the kick. Bangs it all the way through. Good job by Binswanger. Speaking of Coach Nealon, we're going to speak with him at halftime. We are Marshall. We'll take a look at that upcoming film and stats and highlights from the first half.
I'm looking forward to that. We are Marshall.
Matt Morris, his first career TD catch. Of course, that got the tragic plane crash that took the Marshall football program down years ago. See if the Marshall defense can be stout here. Slayton tripped up, loss of about a yard. Give credit on that to the middle linebacker. They like him a lot. The freshman Josh Johnson, number 32. Tinker was there as well.
Tinker did a great job running down the line of scrimmage, and so did Underwood, 99. They did a good job of pursuing the ball carrier in Slayton, and he's a tough guy to catch, and they did a good job.
Emotionally, this could be a turning point in the game for Marshall.
If they can go 3 and out.
You bet. White flushed.
Oh, he's got him.
Oh, good lick there at the 25-yard line. Zurich Matthews, a redshirt freshman, number 11. He's out of Greenwood, South Carolina.
When you get a hit like this is what makes you feel good broadcasting the game and not playing quarterback right now. That's a high-low, and that's very, very fortunate that Patrick White was able to get back onto that football field. A terrific hit by Matthews, the freshman.
Big third down here, John. From the 25. Play clock at 13. White looking over the middle. Caught first First down, West Virginia across the 45 to the 47-yard line. First down for the Mountaineers. And he got it to Jeremy Bruce. That's a gain of 22 yards.
Boy, what a big play with 3:30 left to go before halftime. You just want to come out if you're Marshall and get a big stop on third down, but Patrick White stays in the pocket, buys some time, and then delivers a strike across the middle to the sophomore from Beaver Falls, Jeremy Bruce.
Only the second wide receiver catch a pass from White today. Slayton on the sweep. He found an alley. Nice game. Picks up about 7. Didn't look like anything was there. Thornton brings him down. Dennis Thornton, the leading tackler from a year ago. There's Dennis. Butkus Award watch list for this year. Had 104 tackles last season.
2nd and 3.
Total yardage. Woof. Slayton gets the call again. Well, he gets a face full of one of the DBs there, Keys, but it looks like it's good enough for a first down. Curtis Keys, number 3 tackler last year behind Thornton and Matt Couch. That's a first down for the Mountaineers of West Virginia.
Yeah, Keys came with a full head of steam to stop Steve Slayton on that play, but it's still good enough for a first down for the Mountaineers. And I wouldn't be surprised if you see him try to go up top right here, maybe a little play action, try to get the football into the end zone on 1st and 10.
Mark Snyder said that Richie Rodriguez calls a heck of a game. Let's see what he comes up with here. 2:37 and counting. 21-7, West Virginia. That White on a keeper. Oh, he got a couple of good blocks. Inside the 30 to the 28. First down, Mountaineers. Gain of 14. That offensive line did a great job. It might have been Moses who got out there to get the block. Take a look here, John, but there was a good alley.
Well, this is a student body left, and Schmidt is the guy out in front with a great block out in front. But the offensive line did a good job of getting the edge and walling everybody inside and let Schmidt have a free run at the free safety. C.J. Spillman gets him out of the way, and then it's all speed to the outside with White.
A screen to Renaud outside at the 20. He's close to a first down to the 17. In fact, he has the first down. Mountaineers continue to roll.
Matthews defensively making a touchdown-saving tackle on the outside on Raynard. It was one-on-one to the outside, but the Mountaineers again move the chains inside the 20.
Pat White 8 for 10, 111 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Very efficient today, both running and throwing the football.
Clock runs inside of 2 minutes left here in the first half. High snap, Slayton, 10-5, nice knowing you. Touchdown, Mountaineers. 16 yards on the run. .21 carries, $140 for Steve Slayton. That was easy. Slayton, his second running touchdown today. Point after by McAfee is good. So that is the response by West Virginia to the Marshall score.
Well, that's just speed and great determination by this Mountaineer offense. I mean, they do a great job of running and mixing in the pass, but Slayton, when he gets to the edge right here, there is nobody in this whole box wearing white. Everybody's walled off to the inside, so all he has to do is turn on the burners to the outside, and nobody touches Steve Slayton until he gets into the end zone. But a great job by the offensive line of mounting the charge. This is the play earlier to Renard, sets up Slayton, his touchdown on the outside. He gets tackled one-on-one to the outside, but look, there's nobody here. There's nobody on the outside, there's nobody on the inside. Clear running room for Slayton to go up into, and he doesn't get touched until he gets to the goal line. That's too easy for West Virginia.
So Slayton with 2 running touchdowns today. Pat White has thrown for 2.
Kickoff for West Virginia. Back to receive. 28 jump small.
Boy, this production rate, Steve Slayton has a chance to make a run up the all-time list in a lot of categories here at West Virginia. 28-7 Mountaineers. McAfee dribbles one downfield. Chubb Smalls got the ball at the 30. Didn't use his blocker. Blocker helped knock him down. Penalty flag on the play. So Small returns it to the 35-yard line.
During the return, holding number 21, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It will be first down.
Ian Hoskins called for that infraction.
Wow. 8 plays, Dave, 80 yards, and look at the time on the clock, 3:20.
So Rich Rodriguez, his team, a lot of people talking about the Mountaineers going out to Glendale, Arizona for the national championship. Preseason talk always can be scary, it can be hilarious, it can be silly, but they take it quite seriously here.
They do.
Big game, if you want to look at one huge game in the schedule, would be that November 2 game against Louisville on a Thursday night down in Kentucky. Ooh, you heard that contact. Bradshaw has not been much of a factor, taken out quickly by Charles Pugh.
Charles Pugh's been around the football the entire day, and when Mountaineer defensive backs come up and hit you, it stings. Not only does it sting, but you can hear it clear up here, Dave. It was a pop.
Hey now. Mr. Bradshaw, we talked about him at the top. One of the best running backs in Conference USA. Been negated here. Morris floats one out to him in the flat, try to cut it back and taken out almost immediately. About a 3-yard gain. Not much doing there.
There hasn't been a whole lot of running room and room when he catches the football for Ahmad Bradshaw today. He came in.
Reed Williams makes a stop.
Yeah, highly touted in the Conference USA to be able to run the football and catch the football. You know, last year he ranked second to Memphis star D'Angelo Williams in rushing yards per game, but he hasn't been able to get on track today.
Bradshaw, last year just shy of 1,000 yards. And today, 7 carries for just 10 yards.
And you can see the frustration on the sidelines in that young man.
That last scoring drive by the Mountaineers. How about Pat White? He rushed it 3 times for 43 yards, passed 1 for 1 for 9.
Well, they've got all the bells and whistles on that offense, do the Mountaineers so far in this first half. They've been able to do it on the ground with Slayton and White running the football, but they've been able to pass with ease, and that's the thing that's going to carry him over the top this year, Dave, offensively. White is going to have to find some consistency and have to use some more receivers. He's been relying heavily on Brandon Miles through this first half, and he'll have to expand that as the season goes on.
They're going to have some games where people are going to come out. Steve Slayton, you're not beating us. You're not going to get 100-plus yards in the first half. It's not going to happen. 28-3 the last time these clubs met, West Virginia back in 1997. Morris hangs in, ball's tipped and incomplete. It's 28-7 at halftime here in 06, 28-3 back in 97.
Brings up 4th and 7.
And another punting situation for Marshall. Punt so far today, nothing really booming. 23, 32, 34, and 36 yards for Ian O'Connor. Senior out of Knoxville, Tennessee. Got some room. And at the 2nd and 3rd waves, Rivers made that exciting. Vaughn Rivers, a 5'9" junior out of Perry High School in Pittsburgh.
Let's see what Rich Rodriguez decides to do. There's still 20 seconds left to go, and the last 2 Mountaineer drives were over 8 minutes and 30 seconds.
West Virginia
in combined.
That is their first time out of the half.
I don't know if Rich Rodriguez actually wanted to take a time out there. I think he wanted to get his team out there and go, because that's the pace he likes.
Well, the way Slayton is running, a simple handoff could turn out to be a big play here. And they've passed the ball effectively, run the ball effectively. There's not a lot they haven't done right today. Fans are still very much into this football season. Always special to come to Morgantown, West Virginia for a college football game. Defending Big East champions. They'd like to factor very large in this national championship picture.
And I think they will. I mean, you look at this conference and what they have to do, and everybody's circling, you know, the Louisville game, but you know, you don't want to let a team like Mississippi State on the road when you go down there to scare you as well.
Marshall said they sold out their allotment of 5,000 tickets in a heartbeat. White to Slayton with some blockers. He finds some room. First down to the 42. Gain of 12. And a timeout called by the Mountaineers. He is one exciting running back.
He really is.
West Virginia.
They list him at 5'10", 190, won the Iron Mountaineer Award. He was he just was a worker.
Dave, not only is he fast, but he sets up his block so well. You see him get his lineman out in front of him. Raynard's out there blocking. He doesn't cut outside to go out of bounds. He knows he has timeouts. He can cut inside, but he sets up his blocking so well. Look, he looks outside, now he goes inside. Where'd he go? You can't find him. He does such a great job of being patient with the football.
How many times over the years, John, have we seen guys who incorrectly use their blockers? They try to outrace them instead of use them. He's got the speed, so when he needs the giddy up, it's there.
Right, he could stop and start. Most people can't do that and get to, you know, their optimum speed within 2 or 3 steps. Steve Slayton can do that. When he stops completely, he can get it going again, and he's at top speed within 2 or 3 steps, so he can go.
12.2 seconds to go here in the first half. 28-7, West Virginia.
Well, if you're Patrick White, you want to look to the field and try to throw up a jump ball down here to the short side of the field.
Going for it all. Sideline. Oh, there's pass interference. You heard the connection as Slayton was running down the sideline, and a linebacker blasted him in the face and knocked him out of bounds. Matt Couch, a silly play. And it stops the clock with 6.9 seconds to go.
I like the play call, too. 3 receivers to...
Number 47 on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
It's just a wheel route, and we're going to get a wheel route to the outside, and Couch, playing the weak side linebacker, makes a bad decision and just drills Steve Slayton out of bounds. The ball might not have been catchable because it looked like it was pretty close to the end line, but a bad decision. You see Steve Slayton say, "Thank you, partner."
6 penalties, 75 yards. Here's Pat McAfee from the 34, so a 44-yard attempt. They had a long of 45 a year ago. Good snap. Blocked. Clean block in there by Marshall. And with 0.7 seconds to go. So the block in there by Curtis Keys, and it was recovered by James Johnson.
Marshall will take over. First and 10.
Curtis Keys did a great job of getting inside. Right on the edge. Look at him come to the football. Great job. He almost takes it right off the foot. And West Virginia very fortunate that ball didn't go behind the kicker, because normally it just explodes when it's blocked. But Keys did a great job of extending and getting that football.
That's the end of the first half.
Well, that'll do it. 30 minutes in the books. The first Friends of Coal Bowl. We're in Morgantown, West Virginia. Mark Snyder of the Marshall Thundering Herd on the short end right now, by the count of 28-7 to the 5th-ranked West Virginia Mountaineers. There's a look at our Mountaineer here today. When we come back, we'll take a look at We Are Marshall and a bunch of other things. The Friends of Coal Bowl. We're at halftime, and the Mountaineers lead it by 3. on film session, and as a football fan, it's not for a family audience, but as a football person, I loved it. Puts you right into the whole feeling of being a football guy. And we are now underway. Binswanger with the kick, taking about a yard deep. Lewis, right side, got room. Good tackle, though. That could have been dangerous for Marshall. Nice play, 27 yards on the return. John Saunders made the stop. So Antonio Lewis, an All-Big East performer last year, second team return specialist. At one touchdown return, punt return for touchdown. Junior out of Waldorf, Maryland. So the Mountaineer offense will start at its own 27. Matt White gives the slate. Oh, fine defensive play by Marshall. Shavar Greer, senior from Beckley, West Virginia, making a play. 6 foot 228 senior.
Steve Slayton with a terrific first half. 21 rushes for 140 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a gaudy 6.7 average. Just that's sometimes a game for some running backs, and he did it in the first half.
Loss of 2, second down and 12 coming up. Slayton to the left side this time, picks his way to the 30, about 3 yards on the game. Matthews is there with help from Couch and McClellan, making the stop for Marshall.
Well, Marshall on the first 2 defensive plays, at least, Dave, they've done a good job. They win the battle at the line of scrimmage on first down, but on second down, they do not allow Steve Slayton to get around that corner and use his speed to the outside. So Marshall on first and second down doing a nice job, and that defensive coordinator, Jim Collins, doing an excellent job making an adjustment at halftime.
West Virginia 3 of 4 on third down conversions in the first half. White's got plenty of time. Not a very well thrown ball to Darius Renaud, junior out of Luling, Louisiana.
That's what you want to do if you're Marshall defensively. You have to stop the run on first and second down, and then only give Patrick White one option to throw the football on third down. So a good set of downs for Marshall coming in after halftime. They get the football back to their offense, and you can see the defensive coordinator, Jim Collins, talking to one of his players, explaining to him, I think that's Josh Johnson on the sidelines he was talking to, of what he wants done in this second half.
Second punt today by Scott Kozlowski. It's a good snap. Low line drive, and taken down immediately. Emmanuel Spann did not have much of a chance. 33 yards, and guess who made the tackle? It was Charles Pugh again. He's been all over the place. Got up to a rocky start with a personal foul on the opening kick, but since then, he has been making plays.
Defensively and special teams, he's done an excellent job finding the football for the Mountaineer team.
2 Pat White touchdowns, 2 Steve Slayton runs. They count for the West Virginia scores. And Bernard Morris to Matt Morris, a 21-yarder. At 5 minutes to go in the second quarter, got Marshall on the board. Here's Bradshaw's best run so far today. Picks up close to 10 yards, close to first down yardage. They really need to get him going. Great visions is head coach Mark Snyder, coming off a sprained ankle, Conference Player of the Year candidate in Conference USA.
Nice wall right on the outside. Good running lane for Ahmad Bradshaw to cut up into on the option play. So far, Marshall in the second half, they've done 2 things they needed to do. Defensively, they've come out and done a nice job 3 plays and out, and offensively, they get Ahmad Bradshaw to do something on first down. 19 yards is all he has on the game.
Morris, get it to bounce outside with Bradshaw. Penalty flag on the play.
Looks like they may get a hold on the outside.
Holding, number 48 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat second down.
Dennis Hennigan heading a Big East crew here today. Back judge is Gary Dansowitz. Ben Vasconcells is the field judge. The side judge is Howard Curry. Kevin Cody's the line judge. Tom Considine, the linesman. Umpire is Paul King.
Ball Marshall 35.
Mark Martin, what do you have regarding Ahmad Bradshaw here?
Well, he's the consummate team player, Dave. Just missing 1,000 yards last season, 997, but certainly wanting to get started on a big way here today. Mark Snyder says when they played Ohio State 2 years ago, the one guy he remembered was number 44.
Well, there's a first down completion. Thanks, Mark. As they get it to Brian Shope, tight end out of Portage, Pennsylvania. Had one catch a year ago. That's his first today.
That's a good throw by Bernard Morris on the run, doing a good job of getting it outside, and Shope moving the chains for the Marshall offense, and that's what they needed to do offensively. Come out, you can hear the crowd. You really can hear the crowd. That's what Marshall wants to do in the second half. Take an opening drive, get some points on the board, get some momentum back for that offense.
The last time these clubs met in '97, Chad Pennington was throwing to Randy Moss. There's Bradshaw hunting and pecking off a left tackle. Picks up a couple. Shoestring grab there by Pat Liebig, the nose guard.
This is more of the pace that Marshall offensively they'd like to have, because that West Virginia offense and that fast-moving offense that they have is on the sidelines. They need to control the football on this drive, move the chains, and then make sure they get some points at the end of this drive.
E.J. Wynn is in the game at wide receiver. He's wearing number 3. He's a slot man, bottom of your screen. They run off tackle with Bradshaw. And Boo McClee makes the tackle for West Virginia.
Yeah, Boo McClee and Jay Henry doing an excellent job. The middle linebacker from Tulsa, Oklahoma, the senior, fighting off a block in the middle of all that traffic and still getting his head on the tackle. Good, tough play by the senior linebacker.
Marshall 2 for 6 on third down. Mountaineer fans looking for a stop. Third down and 3. Ball's at the West Virginia 48. 4 minutes and change in third quarter here in Morgantown. Option play. Morris got the first down. Got a block. Oh, and he got caught from behind. And it's a good thing from the West Virginia standpoint. That's a first down. Boo McClee with the shoestring tackle. Gain of 9. First down, Marshall.
Well, good athletic play. Making the first man miss is Eric Weeks in the backfield. He's in the Marshall backfield, and Bernard Morris did an excellent job of eluding that player and then getting to the edge and getting to the corner. It looked like Boo McClee on the shoestring tackle on Bernard Morris, or Morris would have had a couple more yards. Nice drive, Dave, to open up this third quarter.
First and 10 at the West Virginia 39. Drive started at the 28. Morris back to throws. Got time. Clutches. Throws. Intercepted. Intercepted by West Virginia. It's number 8, Quentin Andrews. And that's the end of that Marshall possession. First team All-State performer out of Opelika, Florida. First career INT. Bradshaw made the tackle.
Dave, I think that's Bernard Morris staring down the wide receiver, but he throws it into traffic. There's one Marshall wide receiver down about 20 yards and about 5 blue jerseys of Mountaineer defenders. He had one-on-one to the outside, to the wide side of the field, but Bernard Morris decided to go down the middle of the football field where all the traffic was, and playing center field, it's easy to get that interception and bring it back as number 8, Quentin Andrews.
Try to get it to Cody Slate. Slate in the deep back, 2 tight end look. That's some strength by Slate. He carried that D tackle to defensive end Albert McClellan for about 5 yards.
And that's not a small man he's carrying.
And again, that O-line of West Virginia just dominated.
Well, I think if West Virginia wins on first down, they're going to beat a lot of people because they just get momentum, and that offensive line just feeds off of their running game. If they can get them going north and south, they're going to be tough to stop.
Rayshawn Bolden, top of your screen. There's a reverse. Coming near side, Darius Renard. Nice job to stop and plant, pick up the first down and more. Marshall territory knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line, a gain of 15. Second time they've run that. Tinker made the stop, and again, not a good sign to D lineman for Marshall. Hands on hips.
Yeah, and they're tired, and it's early in the third quarter, but a nice design on the misdirection. You get Darius Reynard, who's a speedster, to the outside. The junior cuts it back inside and moves the chains again for the Mountaineer offense.
First down play. Slayton, nice dip in, turns the corner, he had nothing, he made something out of it. Big gain by Steve Slayton. Down to the 28-yard line, first down, West Virginia, gain of 19. 25 carries, 168 yards for Steve Slayton out of Levittown, Pennsylvania.
We talked about in the open for West Virginia, the key to the game was be physical and play your game, and right now the game is Steve Slayton. He had an excellent first half, but what speed and acceleration, Dave, you mentioned it, there was nothing there to the outside. He made something out of nothing, and today 160 yards on 25 rushing attempts, 2 touchdowns already, and 6.7 on the ground he's averaging. Slayton having a terrific afternoon.
He slides, he glides, and he's got the power.
He slides and he glides and then he stops and then can accelerate again and get by you.
Taking a page out of Mr. Sanders' book, as in Barry Sanders. Take a break, 8:54 to go. Timeout on the field. West Virginia in command, 28-7. And the website for the Friends of Coal, www.friendsofcoal.org. That is really something, going down into a coal mine. The inaugural Friends of Coal Bowl here in Morgantown, West Virginia. 28-7 Mountaineers, 5th ranked this week as college football gets underway. Are you buying the Notre Dame hype?
I'm not buying all the Kool-Aid, no. A little bit of it, but not as much as some of the people around the country are.
Interesting game tonight against Georgia Tech. 8:40 to go, third quarter. Toss play going to Slayton. Oh, he found that hole. Look at that acceleration. Took a big pop in there. But positive yardage, C.J. Spillman knocked him down. Nice gain, picks up about 8.
There's been some creases in this game that Steve Slayton has gotten to. And look at right here. Yeah. He finds the cutback and he just starts going north and south. And the best thing, Dave, about Slayton is when he gets hit, he continues to go forward. He'll just slide, he'll twist, he'll spin, but he always falls forward.
Gain of 6, 2nd and 4. 22-yard line. Owen Schmidt right up the gut. Smitty at the 10, at the 5. It'll be 1st and goal, West Virginia. 17 yards on the game for Owen Schmidt. Came here looking to play some football. He was a walk-on. Let him do some things. Rich Rodriguez said he was killing the first team. He was a member of the scout team. He was killing people.
I can see why. You know, you peck away with Steve Slayton running the ball and Patrick White, and then you bring the sledgehammer. Owen Schmidt, the junior out of Fairfax, Virginia. He can make it hurt.
Reminiscent of Mike Allstott, a few knee injuries before he slowed down. Here's Slayton. Look at that. He was caught in the backfield again, and he spun inside the 5, picked up a yard. They had him dead to rights. Bilal El-Amin had a real good shot at him, number 92, and Slayton still got positive yardage.
Yeah, I think Jeremy Sheffy, the right offensive guard, just went up to Steve and said, hey, that hole was just a hair inside. If we run it again, follow me, because it was there inside.
White taking instructions from Rich Rodriguez right up to the final snap here. Owen Schmidt, he is in, touchdown West Virginia. Good blocking up front. Stanchik, Isdanner, Moses, Sheffy, and Figner.
Great job by the offensive line, and the best part about the whole play, the first guy to congratulate Owen Schmidt in the end zone, Steve Slayton. 6:54 to go in the third.
34-7. Owen Schmidt with 2 rushing touchdowns last year. Point after is good. 35-7, the Mountaineers of West Virginia. And Owen Schmidt and that offensive line just grinding it out. And Schmidt takes the blow but scores, ending a 66-yard drive. Mountaineers up big. Today's Friends of Coal Bowl is brought to you by Friends of Coal. Visit our website at www.friendsofcoal.org. On the West Virginia side, good feelings right now, and why not? Up 35-7 here in the opener. Third quarter, Owen Schmidt capping a 7-play, 66-yard drive in 3:18. The interception by Andrews set up that scoring drive for the Mountaineers. Glad you could join us, everybody, for the Friends of Coal Bowl here in Morgantown, West Virginia. Marshall taking on the Mountaineers, along with John Kinjemi and Mark Martin. I'm Dave Sims. And here comes the kick. Dribble it downfield, and a monster collision. I think people in the last row heard that one. And that might be the last time. That was a linebacker. Yeah, that's Josh Johnson. I think that might be the last time he volunteers for that.
Yeah, he may let that ball pass by him the next time and say somebody else's job is to run it. I block.
Yeah, because the tackle by Andy Emery was pretty impressive. Total yards, overwhelming advantage for the Mountaineers.
They've done a nice job of controlling this football game with their offense and their defense. Offensively, they've been able to win the battle at the line of scrimmage to allow Steve Slayton and Patrick White to do whatever they will on offense.
A waggle here by Bernard Morris. Nice ball, caught far sideline. Mark his progress to the 48-yard line. That's Matt Morris, a 13-yard pickup.
Good throw by Bernard Morris on the edge. That was a bullet to the outside to his wide receiver, Matt Morris. Morris had that touchdown catch earlier in the first half, and Mark Snyder makes him feel a little bit better that they're moving the football in this second half, but the costly turnover on the interception last series led to that long West Virginia drive, and Morris on the day, 50%, 1 touchdown and 120 yards through the air.
Last year he was 52.8%, 10th in Conference USA passing efficiency. And better looking runs by Bradshaw going left side for about 8. Penalty flag coming in late.
Official stop by number 6, Antonio Lewis.
Must have been some extra jawboning going on down there. Here's Dennis Hennigan.
After the play was over, personal foul, number 6 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play. First down.
Antonio Lewis drawing the ire of his head coach.
And I agree with him. That wasn't a smart play. You know, the play's over. Bradshaw's down on the football field, and then you just get he's ripping at the football, and then he just, you know, you don't do that. That's just not sportsmanship. That's not smart. That's not what Rich Rodriguez coaches.
Don't forget the beautiful thing about football. Legally, you get to hit somebody hard, but that was on the illegal side. Up the middle. Not much there for Bradshaw.
Bradshaw, the ball carrier.
He clearly was a focal point of this defensive unit. Dingle, Liebig, Dykes up front, McLee, Henry, Hathaway, and company in that front 6 or 7.
Oh yeah, well, you know, we talk about the offense of West Virginia, we talk about the defense as a group, but that front 3, they have to do a good job of creating a stalemate on that offensive line for Marshall, so those linebackers and defensive backs can get up and make plays, and they've done that today.
Marshall has almost as many penalty yards as rushing yards. Chubb Small up the middle for a couple. Not much there. Jay Henry makes the tackle along with Boo McLee.
West Virginia starting to commit a lot more people than Marshall can block, so they're going to have to make somebody miss at the point of attack, and that time Chubb Small did a nice job of inching out a couple yards on that second down carry.
Clock running down inside 5 minutes here in the third quarter. Marshall 3 for 7 on third down conversions.
May have to move Bernard Morris out of the pocket on this play here.
Play clock at 5. They're going to run it. Chubb Small, his third carry. See what kind of spot they get. They had to get to about the 19.5-yard line. Going to be very close.
That was a good effort by Small inside the tackles. When he got turned around, he at least kept going north and south, and it came very close to the first down.
Mark Snyder recently signed a contract extension through the year 2013. Marshall alum, linebacker coach at Ohio State when they won a national championship. Mark D'Antoni was on that staff. He was the D coordinator, now the head coach at Cincinnati.
Yeah, I spent some time with Glenn Mason as well at Minnesota. So there's a connection to Jim Tressel everywhere he's been.
So Chubb Small is able to get the first down.
I don't know, Matt Morris at 6'3", 219. He went up and got that football so effectively for the touchdown in the first half. You might want to take a look at him down inside the 20-yard line, especially if West Virginia comes with pressure and man coverage.
The tight end, top of your screen, is Cody Slate. Manuel Span at the bottom. On the waggle, they were waiting for him. Throw it up towards the end zone. Tried to get it downfield to Slate, but a good defensive play. Staying home on that weak side. Good job over there.
Yeah, nice job of staying put defensively for the Mountaineers that time, but I just think there's too much pressure. When you go two tight ends, you bring everybody inside that box. West Virginia is stronger, they're faster, and they're getting to the point of attack a little bit quicker than Marshall can block them right now. So you might want to spread them out a little bit and see what you'd like to do, make it easier for Bernard Morris.
Eric Wicks putting some pressure on. Second down and 10 at the 20. Blitz coming, tried to time it up, they didn't. McClee got that foot over the line.
Yeah, and I think he made contact with the right offensive guard as well, Dave.
As you look ahead
offside, number 43 on the defense, 5-yard penalty, down remains the same.
First team all Big East a year ago, Kevin Boo McClee out of Uniontown, Pennsylvania. As you look ahead to the Big East season, regular season conference games, and West Virginia picked to win it all. But I think there's going to be obviously a big challenge from Louisville, and if Rutgers can stop people, I think offensively they've got a nice ball club.
They do.
There's a penalty flag as Bradshaw runs off tackle left side, gets inside the 10, and a third flag thrown as well. Referee threw one, a back judge and the side judge. Oh, you get $2 for $1 here, right?
I think so. One hold on the inside, maybe one hold on the outside.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Holding number 13 on the offense. That penalty is declined. Holding number 66 on the offense. That penalty will be accepted. The 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Brian Shope, number 13, and Doug Legursky, the center.
Yeah, inside there was some holding going on. You can see right at the point of attack. Right there, he got a big
hunk of jersey.
Hunk of jersey.
Oh, man.
But on the outside as well, it looked like Brian Shope had a hold. So decline one, take the other one, and Rich Rodriguez, either way, is happy. It's second and long.
41 plays today for Marshall, 7 penalties. Second and 15. Ball's back at the 25. Blitz coming. Morris sees it, reads it, goes up the middle. If he had waited another second, he could have had that, who was it, the Cody Slate tight end, maybe throw a block for him. Picks up yardage inside the 20 to the 18.
Good play.
A third and long.
Good play by Bernard Morris on second down. Puts the ball up and just a quarterback draw. Good design, good hole to run through. And there's the block you were talking about, Dave. Just need to be a hair more patient and let Cody Slate get in front of him. But he did what he tried to get as many yards as he could, get in a good third down or a better third down situation.
4 for 8 on third down for Marshall. Last year, just 37% efficiency. Not efficient here. Morris falls on it at the 27. Boy, it's rolling downhill the wrong way. Tough day for Morris.
Not sure if that was a bad snap or his head. That was a bad snap, low and outside, and Morris could do nothing with the football. He did a good job just to get back on it, but a bad snap on the shotgun snap.
Binswanger, a junior. 33-yard line is the placement, so a 43-yard attempt. 9 of 12 at Diablo Valley Community College a year ago. Boy, his timing got thrown off. Nice and easy stroke, and he bangs it through. So a 43-yard field goal by Anthony Binswanger out of Pleasant Hill, California. Marshall with a 3 on the board. Friends of Coble, West Virginia 35-10 over Marshall. Barber was turned loose this morning here at Morgantown, West Virginia. 35-10. Mountaineers in the lead.
Only got half the job done there.
Hey, Ma, guess what I did today?
Yeah, I fell asleep and somebody cut my hair.
I laugh. I had that happen to one of my kids did that. I came home one day and they had one of those deals.
Yeah, didn't go over well with the Sims. Sims household. I'm just getting into that stage, Dave.
Guess what you got to look forward to, big fella. Does that mean honey to warm up the car? I guess that's a Mountaineer tradition. I'll have to get the inside on that one. Pretty good blocking, and he runs into the pile. That was returned by Lewis. Got it across the 20. They'll mark his progress to the 24-yard line. Let's see if Rich Rodriguez sends out his #1 unit for one more time. Looks like he might be.
Yeah, it might be one more series or finish out the third quarter, I would think.
Yep, that's the 1 unit there. And if they hurry up and snap it, there's no one covering the wide receiver at the bottom of the field, bottom of your screen. Four-man rush for Marshall. Slayton finds another crease. First down, West Virginia, across the 35 to the 36, a gain of 12. On the right side, Sheffy and Figner made it happen.
And they've been making it happen all afternoon long. There's been great creases for Steve Slayton to slip through with his terrific speed. He's been able to get to the hole and get to the other side of the hole, and the Marshall defenders catching him about 5-6 yards downfield.
From the 36, first down, West Virginia. Now they're going to come left. Crease again. Gain of about 6, maybe 7. Let's go to Mark Martin, and you got some more information on Steve Slayton.
Well, Dave, they like to feed this young man the ball, and when you think about where this guy came from a year ago, he just told me simply, I wanted the coaches to know my name. I wanted to maybe not be on the scout team, but Rich Rodriguez says this young man, just like his quarterback Pat White, ever so humble. He says Steve Slayton comes to practice every day, just like he did a year ago in August, just wanting them to know his name.
They know it all over college football now, that is for sure. Big East, Georgia, everybody watching this game today.
Yeah, you think the Bulldogs remember Steve Slayton? I think they do.
3 quarters in the book. 35-10, West Virginia. Mountaineers getting a 3-yard run from Owen Schmidt to make it 35-7. Binswanger with his first field goal of his career from 43 yards. The Marshall points, 35-10. The running game, the trickeration, you name it. It has all worked. But the big star, Steve Slayton. There's Owen Schmidt up the middle. Mountaineers turn to the fourth quarter, dominating against Marshall. 35-10. West Virginia, the number 5 team in the nation. Dave Sims, Jen Kinjemi, and Mark Martin and crew on hand here in Morgantown, as probably will be the last time we see the number 1 offensive unit for the Mountaineers. Pat White at the controls. Tried to get it to the tight end. First time they looked in the direction of Michael Villagrana, a junior out of Boardman, Ohio. He had 1 catch last year. They played a lot of special teams last year. Rich Rodriguez speaks very highly of them. There's your numbers through 3 quarters.
Yeah, West Virginia's just done a great job of dominating the football game, starting up front, but then their athletes, Patrick White, Steve Slayton, Miles on the outside catching touchdowns. It's just been a good job of mixing it up with the run and pass, and Patrick White, he's the key at quarterback.
Here's Kozlowski with the kick. Had a decent roll, nothing great, inside the 20-yard line at the 19. It's a punt of 38 yards.
Take a look at the junior quarterback out of Orlando, Bernard Morris, for the Thundering Herd. Now, this is a different experience for him, coming in the opener on the road, hostile environment against the number 5 team in the country, but he's done a good job of just holding his own. Other than the 1 pick down in the 3rd quarter, I thought he's done a good job of trying to deliver the football to the right place. I think they just need to do a little bit more of it. They tried to mix in Ahmad Bradshaw in the second half, and Mark Schneider's just been on the fence whether to try to throw the football a little bit more in the second half.
He's 9 of 19, 124, touchdown, and a pick. Bradshaw, best run of the day, got some support. Sideline, penalty flags all over the place as he's run out of bounds on the far side. Lewis, 29 yards on the run.
What an effort by Bradshaw to get some running room to the right side. That's a good block there. There's the clip. That might have been it, the second block of the 3 that you saw.
Boy.
Let's take a look right, not that one, but coming into your screen right there. That's the block that draws the flag.
Illegal block in the back. Number 89 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
No doubt about her there. Matt Morris called for that infraction.
And disappointing and deflating to Mark Snyder, the second-year head coach, just when you have a positive play and you get Ahmad Bradshaw back to make a little bit of electricity on his sideline, they get a penalty.
9 penalties for 105, and when Coach Snyder sees that, he'll be a little bit chagrined. I mean, that's a killer, as you mentioned. You get positive yardage, now it's brought back, but that was an easy call.
Yeah, and coaches always say, you know, you don't want to do that in your first game, and you make your best strides offensively and defensively from first game to second game, but those penalties will kill you, and it doesn't matter what time of the season.
There's a waggle from the backside. They go screen. Good block. First down, 35. Determined run by Bradshaw. Knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line. First down, Marshall, gain of 22.
When Ahmad Bradshaw gets going north and south and he has a little bit of running room, this kid can run the football. And he's a strong back, too. 5'11", 197. Good effort by Morse by retreating away from Wicks to give his running back a little bit more time to get away from the line of scrimmage. And then watch him deliver the blow at the end. Whack. He's delivering the shot. 2-on-1 on the outside, and Quentin Andrews knew that he tackled a tough running back in Ahmad Bradshaw.
3 catches. Almost 9 yards a pop. Straight up the middle. Oof. Bounce back. Stout in that middle of the defense. Bobby Hathaway, you saw him get on number 55. He stuck his nose in there. Johnny Dingle as well.
What a textbook tackle by Bobby Hathaway. Watch him wrap around the waist and deliver the head on the side. Just a great form tackle. Drives right through him. Perfect tackle by Bobby Hathaway.
Drove through. You always hear coach, but get those hips into it.
Bobby did it right. 100%. He'll get graded on that play for sure.
2nd down and 8. Marshall at its own 43. There's a takedown. Wide open, overthrown. E.J. Wynn was wide open, and Mars couldn't get it to him. 3 flags on the play.
Yeah, John Inman.
Holding, number 3 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, 2nd down.
John held his arms out. What did I do? Well, he did save the quarterback's life.
First things are first, Dave.
That's right. The life you save may be your quarterback.
That's right. And I'll remind you of that on the way back to the huddle, says
exactly
Bernard
right.
Morris.
Jeez.
Yeah, just on the outside, the engagement goes right here, and that's the arm bar takedown.
2nd down and 18.
Sadly, Marshall has a $115 in penalty yards to 113 rushing. Marshall picked 4th in the Conference USA East Division behind Central Florida, Southern Miss, and Memphis. Well, this Marshall program, we had Bob Pruitt on with us earlier. When they were in the Mid-America Conference, all they did was win the MAC in 97, 98, 99, 2000. They lost in the MAC final in 2001 and won it again in 02. And then Bob Pruitt retired after the 04 season, and Mark Snyder took over. Talk more about Marshall, more about this game. 35-10 West Virginia when we come back to Morgantown, West Virginia. Welcome back, everybody. This is the Friends of Coal Bowl from Morgantown, West Virginia. To the top 2, the only 2 D1A programs in the state of West Virginia. Marshall taking on number 5 West Virginia. Along with John Kinjemi and Mark Martin, I'm Dave Sims. 35-10. It's all Mountaineers. Steve Slayton, Pat White, they have been the stars that we had expected them to be. Tremendous performances by the offensive line. Look at the first down, a 2-1 margin. Marshall with a long way to go. 2nd down and 18. Mars hanging in, throws short. And he completes it to Emmanuel Spann, sophomore out of Atlanta's Westlake High School.
Just trying to get something positive on 2nd and long, but still a difficult 3rd and probably 13 yards to go for Marshall in this offense. Ahmad Bradshaw has done a nice job in the 2nd half of contributing, but not enough to get Mark Snyder's Marshall team back into this game. It's still 35-10 West Virginia.
Four of 9 on 3rd down conversion. Look out, blitz. They run the screen backside. Tight end's got it, and he got the first down. Cody Slate. Well executed by the Thundering Herd. First down, gain of 17.
That's the 2nd time Bernard Morris has done a nice job of drawing the Mountaineer defenders. Watch him let the Mountaineer defenders get close and buy enough time to get that screen to the outside. Cody Slade, the tight end, does a good job of getting a 2nd effort for that first down. He knows where he needed to be for that marker, and before Magro can make the tackle, he does a nice job of letting his blockers get out in front of him, and then that extra effort moves the chains for Marshall.
First down from the 45 of West Virginia. Here's Bradshaw. Nice run. 2nd and 3rd effort. Looks like a spot that's going to give him a first down. Gain of 10. Larry Keck is the offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for Marshall.
Couple nice calls in this 2nd half with the screenplays to get the chains moving and keep that offense on the field. Bernard Morris did a nice job. Ahmad Bradshaw, he's gotten him back into this football game.
Larry worked under the great Bob Pruitt as well during his great years at Marshall. And a couple of guys that he could push some numbers for. Chet Pennington, Randy Moss.
Pretty good.
Not bad. Not bad at all. As for Mark Snyder would like to return to those days.
Only in his second year, 4-7 last year was Marshall, and brighter things on the horizon if you keep getting play like you do in the second half out of Bradshaw, the running back, and Morris, the quarterback.
Larry Keck had another pretty good student too, Brett Favre at Southern Miss. Difficult to bring down Bradshaw. You got to love his determination. Nice piece of yardage there, about another 6-7 yards. You know what I noticed here today? First of all, Bradshaw, another guy who's got good vision. Doesn't have blazing speed, but it's good. It's good speed.
Tough runner, low to the ground. He's tough to get a hold on. He's tough to get a handle on. The first guy usually doesn't bring him down, and Bradshaw is going to have an excellent year if he runs like he has been in the second half.
Blitz coming. And it's a good thing, and a fumble. McClee had the ankles of Bradshaw. He was running right by the blitzer. Had he been able to get through, there's nobody home on that backside.
Good point, Dave. He looked like he was going to go right by the blitzer, but he just got tackled a little left. The left leg gets stopped, and he gets back on his own fumble. Does Bradshaw, but McClee does an excellent job of finding the ball carrier again. That's what these linebackers do really well from West Virginia. They find the ball carrier, and they don't waste any time getting a hold of it.
So Bradshaw's out. Chubb Small gets the carry. Tackled from behind, maybe a gain of 1. Very aggressive penetration there by West Virginia. It's going to leave Marshall short of a first down by about a yard. Fourth and let's call it 2.
Looks like the offense is going to stay on the field and try to get it done on 4th and 2 for head coach Mark Snyder.
See what Larry Keck calls here. 4th and 2 at the West Virginia 27. He's gone to slate a couple of times when he's needed big yardage. Oh boy, that's not going to work.
False start, number 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
Seth Cook, senior from Gilbert, West Virginia.
4th and 7.
That makes it a 4th and 7. You could be optimistic and say, hey, there's 5 more yards they get to work with.
Yeah, you can say that, but not against this defense. Rich Rodriguez and Jeff Castile, the defensive coordinator for the Mountaineers, have done an excellent job of putting guys in the right spots. And there's Jeff, lower part of your screen right here. Done an excellent job of pressuring the pocket.
And there's 2 down linemen. Let's see how many guys come. 3 down linemen. They're creeping up, bringing a whole package of blitz. Got to get rid of it, and throws behind the receiver, Marcus Fitzgerald. Penalty flags all over the field.
Might have been Eric Weeks from that field side safety trying to get a head start on the snap count. May have been in that neutral zone.
Luckily, we don't have Richie Mike.
Yep.
Offsides, number 41 on the defense. 5-yard penalty, remains 4th down.
That's 2 plays in a row that Eric Weeks, they've run the same blitz play from the wide side. He timed it up the first time, but not on 3rd down, or on 4th down he did not. So that'll make it back to where we started. Maybe Marshall gains a yard now, 4th and 2.
But they're going to do it with Bradshaw still on the sideline. Chubb Small in the backfield. They overload the bottom of your screen. They come that way. It's a keeper all the way. Morris, nothing doing. Too much speed on that West Virginia side of the ball. Change of possession. When we come back, the Mountaineers will have the ball, leading 35-10 here in the 4th. 35-10, West Virginia leading. Let's check in with Mark Martin.
Well, guys, we saw number 25 for Marshall, Curtis Keys, limp out a little earlier in the game. Is back in there, the most experienced player in this Marshall secondary. And he's surrounded by a lot of youngsters, but it doesn't end on the football field. Keys is helping to look after his younger brother, Isaiah, who is a bright football prospect himself. Keys' mother is in Mississippi, caring for her mother, so Isaiah and Curtis's older brother, Jermaine, are now all together in Huntington. Jermaine Keys has a recruiting agency, and Curtis says Isaiah runs the 40 in 4.5 and bench pressed 185 pounds 28 times earlier this summer.
How old is he, Mark?
He is a junior in high school.
Ooh, that'll get some attention, as does this run by Slayton. A tough four-yard run. Took some hits there, but kept going. I am surprised at 8:25 and counting that the first unit is still in there for West Virginia.
We might have thought the last series was the last one, and now we see Brandon Miles and Steve Slayton coming out of the football game.
Well, Owen Schmidt right now is the tailback. Two wides, both sides. Ooh, there's a collision. That was a football play there. Brendan Souter, meet Owen Schmidt.
And we've had some sounds of the game for you today with some hard hitting between these two interstate football teams, but none louder than this one.
Hey now. Woo.
That'll make you sore for a couple weeks.
Golly.
That's a collision.
That's right, emphasis. It's not a contact sport, it's a collision sport. Straight up the gut again. Real subtle, huh? First down, West Virginia.
We thought Steve Slayton was tough to catch and tackle. When Owen Schmidt gets that 6'3", 250 pounds going north and south, he will run you over. And watch his pad level. It's not real high for a big guy. He's down low. Look at him. It's tough. He's initiating the contact, so it's tough to wrap up on him. You just have to really get in his way, and hopefully you stop him.
C.J. Spillman at 6 foot, $193 against 6'3", 250.
No chance.
Slayton's back in. It's ridden out of bounds at about the 48-yard line. Picks up about 3.
Slayton getting close to that 200-yard day. The sophomore, what a great year he had last year. 5 games into the season against Virginia Tech. He enters the picture, and it was over after that. 17 touchdowns, 1,128 yards, and today only 2 yards shy of 200 after 32 rushing attempts and 2 touchdowns.
It's a man's work there. And hopefully he will take care of Stanchek, Isdaner, Moses, Sheffy, and Figner.
Where do you want to go, boys?
That's right. It's all me tonight, pal. There's 200. Penalty flag. Yeah, at this point now, if you're a West Virginia fan, you're holding your breath.
Number 76 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat, second down.
Dan Moses, the All-American candidate at center, called for that penalty. That'll take off that yardage.
Well, this offensive line, they haven't done many things wrong today. They've done an excellent job of getting people out of the way. Greg Isdaner, you see there, number 79, and Dan Moses anchoring in the center. And look at that score from North Carolina. Rutgers up by 4 with 3 minutes left to go in the game.
The question I think everybody in the Big East has about Rutgers, can they get stops? Because offensively, with Brian Leonard, Mike Teal can throw the ball. They've got some people on the outside. They've got Ray Rice. They've got a freshman running back who they say is faster than Ray Rice. They've got some weapons on offense. Defense, another story. Slayton going for that 200-yard mark again. That might have given it to him.
hope that's what they were doing, trying to get him those 2 yards, because you don't want to get Steve Slayton overrun in the first game and risk an injury when the game's out of hand. So
Slayton picked up about 7 or 8 pounds, ran a 4.37 during the 40. What a talent. It's a relentless offense by West Virginia. Second career 200-yard game. Of course, he went for 2 bills plus in the win over Georgia in the Sugar Bowl last January. So he's got back-to-backers. White throwing off the wrong foot, running free, catch made, stays on his feet, down he goes at the 12-yard line. Tito Gonzalez, wide receiver, sophomore from Tampa, Florida. 45 yards on the big catch.
Somebody in that Marshall secondary was looking the wrong way. A busted coverage right down the middle of the field. Patrick White finds a wide open Tito Gonzalez. Nobody within 10 yards of the receiver. There you see some closing speed on the outside by one of the defensive backs from Marshall, 27. Frazee, Jeremy Frazee, but wide open down the middle.
You know what's interesting about the throw, John? You can appreciate this as a quarterback. He threw that off the wrong foot. I don't think that was the initial receiver. I don't think that was his one receiver. It might have been a second or third. And he saw him and just got it out there. Like Colson, his first carry today. That's who it was. Jason Colson, a senior from Rochester, New York. Tinker with the tackle. John, I got another question for you. We started about 3:39. Game's about 3:10, 3:15. The new rules were said to speed up the game.
Somebody didn't get the memo, Dave. I'm on your side on this one.
I mean, I didn't expect the game to be pitched in Bob Gibson 159, but I mean,
we were hoping for something with a little bit of pace, right?
So that's been a slow game. Colson picked up about 3. Colson's a 6'1" junior with the Edison Tech a year ago, 120 yards. He was the 7th leading rusher on the team, 8 catches for 97 yards.
And he's a thumper too. He can move it inside those tackles.
These fans are in love with their Mountaineers as Pat White comes out. And now at the controls is number 16, Jared Brown, a redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach, Florida. Well, to give him some cookies here. A 3rd down play. And he's got to get a chance to throw. Got it to the backup fullback, Maxwell Anderson, who's from right here in Morgantown. And that's the first play from scrimmage in his NCAA career for Jared Brown. Maxwell Anderson, a local kid. He was headed to Georgetown. Couldn't work things out financially. Walked on here at West Virginia and followed everything that Owen Schmidt did. Tried to mimic every little thing. Breaking face masks, the whole thing. Wound up getting a scholarship.
That's the way you do it, with hard work and right place in the right time, and people noticing you.
I got to run down. Yeah, he went down to chain gang. Boy, he'll hear about that at the airport tonight from the boys. Of course, Richie Rodriguez, a walk-on himself here at West Virginia, has a soft spot for giving guys a shot at the first down play.
First and goal. All the herd.
3:07 to go here in the 4th quarter. One heck of a hot ticket here at West Virginia. Mountaineers do not have a seat available for their entire home season. Eastern Washington next week. Jared Brown at the controls, inside handoff. Colson stymied at about the 1-yard line. West Virginia opens the season with 3 consecutive home games. Eastern Washington, and then 5 days later, Maryland. A couple of non-conference games at East Carolina, at Mississippi State, and then Syracuse in the conference opener on October 14th.
Yeah, very favorable schedule for Rich Rodriguez and his Mountaineer team to start the season. You know, that Maryland game always seemed to be a hurdle.
Yeah, until what, I think last year.
Until last year, right.
Blew them out. Same play, coming to the right. Colson loses yardage. Fine defensive play by Shavar Greer. Slow developing play, and he had tremendous penetration. That's inside 2 minutes to go here. 3rd and goal, and Shavar Greer looked like he took a hit. Hurt him.
Good back-to-back plays by the Marshall defense, getting people in the offensive backfield and disrupting the timing of the run offense. And Jason Colson never got on track to get going up the field.
McClellan thought he had 6.
Yes, he did.
Clock runs inside 125. 3rd down and 7. Brown, nice move. Can he get in? Yes, sir! The freshman scores! Jared Brown, he's a big kid at 6'3", 220 at quarterback. A redshirt freshman from West Palm Beach, Florida, Palm Beach Lakes High School. Not a bad debut.
No, nice moving inside the 10-yard line. Looked like Marshall was in position to make the tackle not once but twice. But Brown was able to elude 2 or 3 tacklers and get into the end zone to push the score up to 41-10.
That ends a long drive. 7 minutes, 44 seconds, 12 plays, and 73 yards. Point after tacked on by McAfee. Mountaineers with 73 seconds to go. This hasn't been in doubt for a while. 42-10 Mountaineers. Number 5, West Virginia in charge here in the Friends of Coal Bowl, 42-10. Mark Martin, what's going on the sideline?
Well, as this game gets ready to wrap up, Dave and John, Marshall, of course, going to leave here unsuccessful today in the win column, but always a lot of things you can take from a game such as this. An unbelievable atmosphere, and these guys know, a lot of the guys that will be back next season, that, hey, we get the Mountaineers at our place a season from now. But for the moment, you look at some of the athletes this team has. Bernard Morris, certainly an athletic quarterback. Ahmad Bradshaw, an exceptional talent. They can get some of those wide receivers back in the mix. And Cody Slade, outstanding tight end here today. A lot of good things they can take from this football game today. But once again, guys, they may be facing off in this opener with one of the premier teams in the country.
Mark, thank you so much. Good working with you this afternoon. Good stuff, and all the best, and you follow Marshall for the remainder of this season. John, what do you think about West Virginia as we look ahead on their schedule and project into the Big East Conference?
Well, I think the West Virginia team and fans have reason to smile this year. I think they've got an excellent offense. I think they have the dual threat of running the football with Patrick White and Steve Slayton, and they found a receiver in Brandon Miles who can take the load. Darius Reynard has good speed to the outside. The offensive line, terrific. Defensively, they were impressive today. They lost a lot last year coming back on defense, but I thought they rallied to the football very well, and they tackled, they ran to the football. It wasn't one guy, it was 2, 3, 4 guys. So with this schedule coming up, Eastern Washington, Maryland, East Carolina, at Mississippi State, I think they're going to cruise right through to that November 2nd date in that meeting at Louisville. I think they'll be undefeated going into that game, and by the looks of things, you know, it'll get tougher from there on in. You know, I think Rutgers, that last game of the season, could be a difficult one as well.
And again, if Rutgers can get stops, they do have some offense. Rutgers did win earlier. Matter of fact, they started around the same time we did. 21-16, they win at North Carolina. Remember, a year ago, you and I were at Illinois when they were up 27-7 and lose the game. And the next week, Illinois comes back to return the visit. Here's what Marshall has in front of it.
Yeah, they go at tough sledding, Kansas State and at Tennessee. That'll be 2 tough games, and then they get a game at UCF, who is going to be one of those teams in Conference USA right up there near the top.
Chubb Small into the secondary, across the 45. Check that. That was Turner on the run. Clock running down. Final 43-7 left on the clock. Steve Slayton went over the 200-yard mark for the second consecutive game. Went for 200 plus against Georgia, now 200 plus today. Kelvin Turner with the run, and 17 seconds, and they'll let this one run out. West Virginia Mountaineers, number 5 team in the nation, successfully opened the 2006 season, and they win the first Friends of Coal Bowl in resounding fashion, beating Marshall by the final of 42-10.
West Virginia 42, Marshall 10.
Mountaineers, Big East favorites. And they do a number on the Marshall Thundering Herd, picked for 3rd in the East Division of Conference USA. We will take a step aside and we'll come back, wrap things up here in Morgantown, where the Mountaineers victorious in a big way, 42-10.
West Virginia running back Steve Slayton is next on our list of Heisman hopefuls. West Virginia stunned the college football world when they finished 2005 with an 11-1 record, including an upset win over Georgia in the Sugar Bowl. Freshman Steve Slayton was a big reason for that success. After carrying the ball only 8 times in the first 4 games last season, patience finally paid off for West Virginia rookie running back Steve Slayton. After a knee injury sidelined his main competition at running back, Slayton took the opportunity and ran away with it. In the final 7 games of the season, Slayton displayed both speed and power, rushing for 17 scores and almost 1,000 yards.
On second down, it's Slayton. Touchdown number 4.
His most prolific scoring performance came in a triple overtime win over Louisville when he reached the end zone, a Big East record 6 times.
Tries to turn the corner, needed a block. He's inside the 10, inside the 5, and inside the end zone.
Slayton finished off his freshman year by running for a career high and Sugar Bowl record 204 yards and 3 more touchdowns. A successful season for Steve Slayton in 2006 could bring the Heisman Trophy to West Virginia for the first time in the school's history. And joining us now to talk about being a potential Heisman candidate is Steve Slayton. Steve, welcome to Cold Pizza. Back early last season, people hadn't heard much about you until the 5th game. You barely played. How has your life changed over the past year, though?
It changed a lot. It showed that all the hard work I put in before the season and during the season paid off.
Which was your biggest feat? Was it the 6 touchdowns that you scored against Louisville in the triple overtime game, or was it running for 204 yards in the Sugar Bowl?
I don't know. I think they're both tough. I think I'm proud of both my accomplishments I did.
Now, which one was more fun? Was it scoring 6 times or the 200 yards in a bowl game?
I had to say the bowl game, scoring, having over 20 yards. That would be one of the biggest highlights of my life.
What does it feel like when you hear your name mentioned in the group of Heisman hopefuls coming into the season?
It's a big shock. I mean, coming to West Virginia, I was still 4th and I had to fight for a position now. You name the top of everybody in America. I think it's just a big privilege.
Throughout the season, the Heisman candidates change. There are some added. There will some that will surely drop out of the race as well. When you look at what kind of a Heisman season it's going to take, what are the numbers that you think are out there for you to attain?
The numbers, hopefully, just hopefully over 100 yards will do every game. Hopefully that solidify a spot.
Over 100 yards a game, and also when you look at the season that West Virginia is looking at, is there one game that you have circled more than the others on the schedule? Which game would that be?
First game of the season. I mean, it breaks off, it makes or break the season.
Which running back would you compare yourself to in the NFL?
In the NFL now? I think now I look up to LaDainian Thompson. He's a slasher guy, and he could do it all. Hopefully I'm working on it, trying to do it all too.
You know, we're looking at the past Heisman winners. No one has ever won a Heisman from a West Virginia school, or a Virginia school for that matter. Why is that?
I don't know. Maybe we're not getting enough respect.
We're asking all the Heisman candidates a Heisman confession. We'll have a little fun with this. True or false? We actually got this one from an article. You're so fast, you'll never win the Heisman Trophy because it will already be named the Slayton Trophy by the time you get it. True or false?
False.
How fast are you, by the way?
I would say around a high 4.2 guy.
High 4.2 40. Well, I'm sure your plans are to run away from opposing defenses this year. Steve, thanks for joining us. Best of luck to you in the 06 season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
As we said earlier, no one from the West Virginia program has ever won the Heisman Trophy. USC and Notre Dame claimed the most Heisman winners, 7 apiece, not far behind as Ohio State with 6. And 36 different schools have won at least one Heisman Trophy. Joining us now to give us further insight on West Virginia's Steve Slayton, ESPN.com college football writer Pat Forty. Pat, thanks for joining us again. It's going to be tough for Steve, a guy from West Virginia, to win this thing, but how can he win it?
Well, one thing, you know, this is a guy who comes with a lot of physical talent. There's no faster running back in the field of top contenders than Steve Slayton, who runs a 4.3 40-yard dash. Also, he's only 185 pounds, but he's awfully tough to bring down. Very, very strong, very explosive running back. He's going to get enough carries that he's going to have plenty of attention, and you factor in that West Virginia, with a soft schedule, could easily start out 7-0 and propel him right up the top.
Pat, what's the biggest thing working against Steve Slayton winning?
Well, Jay, I'm not even sure he's the best candidate or even the best runner on his own team. The quarterback, Patrick White, who had a great redshirt freshman year last year, is going to be back and very much in control of that offense. And if White's numbers improve passing the ball, he could wind up being a more attractive candidate than Slayton.
We need numbers to see whether or not Slayton's going to be a legitimate guy. What kind of numbers does he need to put up this season?
Now, last year, he only started the last 7 games of the year, and over that time, he averaged 155 yards rushing a game, and he scored 19 touchdowns. That's a lot of work in a little bit of time. If you extrapolate that over 12 games, it would be about 1,860 yards and a whopping 33 touchdowns. If he does that and West Virginia wins every game on its regular season schedule, he's a top candidate.
All right, let's have a schedule check. We'll split it in halves. Give us a first half game and a second half game that he needs to perform well in to be a contender.
All right, you know what? He's going to try to win this all on Thursday nights. It'll be a Thursday night early against Maryland. That'll be their toughest early game, mid-September. National television audience, a chance to prove something against an ACC team. And then later on, 2 Thursday night games in November against Louisville in a game that should decide the Big East championship and could be 2 teams ranked in the top 10 at that point. And then mid-November, Thursday night against Pittsburgh, another team that could be in the Big East mix and their top rival. So those 3 games, West Virginia will have the nation's attention all to itself. If Slayton plays big in those games, he's got a chance.
Pat, how much hype factors into Slayton's chances?
Well, normally, you know, Morgantown's not a place to go to look for hype, but it's a little bit different this time around. After they went 11-1 last year and they stunned Georgia in the Sugar Bowl, everybody in the national media went to Morgantown during the spring to write stories on the Mountaineers. So that's carried over a little bit. I think they've got some momentum coming into this season. People are going to be watching them. They're starting the season ranked very highly, so there's a little more hype than you would normally expect out of West Virginia.
All right, the odds Slayton win the Heisman Trophy are?
I'll start him at 8-1, but he could backslide off of that because the Big East teams don't get a lot of respect. You lose 1 game, you could lose a lot of ground. But if they win through a fairly easy schedule, they maintain that ranking, and his numbers are consistently good, he's got a decent chance.
Pat Forty, as always, great stuff. Thanks.
Thank you.
Tomorrow we continue our Heisman Hopeful series when we sit down with Florida quarterback Chris Leak to find out how it feels to hear his name mentioned as a potential Heisman candidate going into the 2006 season.